Ah, God damn it.
You can't make noise before
I can't, but I have a Strabango, so I win. What?
How many Strabangos do you have? 2?
Just the one.
Because I only have one C4 over here.
Hey, guys.
What the fuck are you doing here?
What the fuck are you doing here?
I was bored. I thought I'd pop by.
Aw. Well,
Wow.
Everybody, surprise guest. Big Tate's herself.
What up, Tatum?
Tatum, star
yeah.
of Wings on Wings.
Wait for Wings on
has,
Wings fame.
Dare I say, forced herself onto another show on the soon-to-be-named network.
It's how I roll.
Right.
I respect it.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tatum's here. Tatum voluntarily. Let me put that out there for everybody.
Listen.
Welcome to WeNeedWrestling, everybody. I guess I got to say that. Yeah. Welcome to WeNeedWrestling. I'm DJ. That's Brett.
Hello.
That's Tatum.
And I'm Tatum.
Of her own free will, maybe against Michelle's.
Hey,
But
listen, this was not pitched. I didn't say, "Hey, come on the show."
we do now have, this makes every other member of Wings on Wings on this show.
Yeah, because
yes.
Barring Todd was a guest, but he's never going to come on the show because
No.
Todd doesn't have good taste, and he'll never hear this.
that's true. Top listener of podcasts.
But yeah, so the entire Wings on Wing crew has been represented at one point or another now on We Need Wrestling.
You know why?
So
Because wrestling rules.
You know, I'm maybe
Let's go.
coming around
So-
to that idea.
I'm so excited.
yeah, so I guess this needs some sort of introduction and explanation.
Dude.
Really quickly, Tatum, why?
I ask myself this all the time.
You should. I mean, I do too. So
Well, I am really big on making sure that I'm making life decisions that are questionable at all times.
success. That's a success for
Yeah.
sure. Good job. Proud.
And it's been a while since I've made a questionable
Been a while.
decision. No, we're not. No, we're not doing
You've
that.
listened to the show. You cannot
true.
say a song lyric without one of us terribly singing it. So
Everything is a song lyric,
It's
though. So,
Cannot blame this on my father.
yeah. Okay. So if
is that the real lyric to that?
I know
Ask
that
Doug, he'll tell you.
Oh, Jesus.
there may or may not be some crossover listeners of Wings on Wings.
There's a few that I know of for sure.
There's a few.
There's
Yeah.
a few, but maybe not a ton. But Michelle and I notoriously will shit on wrestling and say we don't need wrestling. And
Right. You can't say or laugh at that anymore.
no, I can't. I have willingly stepped into this arena. After so many years of making fun of it, and then I accidentally, I accidentally became invested.
It's how it gets everybody eventually. There's a reason why wrestling has existed for the better part of 100 years.
Yeah.
It's true.
I will say it is wildly entertaining. It's basically a soap opera for boys with punching and throwing and lots of tables if Brett gets his way.
Yes. Everybody
more
gets
tables,
their
the
way.
better.
Right, that's true.
And
Fuck you,
yeah,
Bully Ray, by the way. Just getting that out there.
Up to hell. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, forever.
I accidentally became invested by hanging out with you fucks. And
Yeah, well, let me get this straight too, just for legal purposes, so that Michelle can't bring these up in the inevitable divorce. Brett and I did not purposefully influence this.
no,
No, we did not.
We did not prod. We did not force. We did not say, "Hey, maybe you should watch." But this happened organically.
this did happen organically.
I mean, if you're around us, you are within a circle of wrestling anyway.
Of course.
But this
at all
happened
times.
as organically as I think it possibly could.
So I like to have, if I'm going to roast or burn somebody, I like to have context for that.
All right, I see the motives now. That's not as fun.
Yeah.
So this is just to make fun of us.
Yeah, you're
No.
here to laugh at us. I get it.
No, I'm just kidding. That may have been my initial intent. No. So my first venture was when I did come up for Rumble. Was it Rumble?
The Royal Rumble, yes.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
And
like
the Rumble's the gateway drug. Yeah.
Everybody
It really is.
from the soon-to-be-named network, almost everybody was here. I think there were like 3 people that weren't, right?
Yeah. A couple people were not here.
Yeah. But it
Who
was...
wasn't here?
Marcus wasn't
Oh,
here.
right.
Ed wasn't here.
Nope.
No,
And
well, Ed's in Ohio. He doesn't
Adam?
count.
No, Adam wasn't here either.
Adam wasn't here for the Rumble?
No, I didn't meet Adam.
He was working that shit job.
Oh.
And he was tired.
Right, yeah. Well,
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But that night was nuts.
It was a good night.
Dave was there.
Right, Dave Romeo was here. The Rumble is the gateway drug, for sure.
It absolutely
It's the most fun. You need to know the least about wrestling to understand that people are just going to get thrown out of a ring.
Right.
You get a lot of people. Like, even Michelle likes the Rumbles because it's like 30 people at once.
Right.
She likes the Rumbles enough that she criticizes a bad Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Rumble is the gateway. And also, like, my favorite pay-per-view of the year. It's my favorite, like, gimmick match. And they're some of the all-time best matches of the Rumbles. They're just usually fun.
I need to have Tatum watch the 92 Rumble.
That's the true gateway.
Do you want to know?
The
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is what I was going to say next. I might have actually watched the 92 Rumble because I would have been 10 at that point.
Okay.
And I had a cousin who was like my nanny for a few years, and her husband was really into wrestling. So when I was a kid, I had like a peripheral knowledge of wrestling. I wasn't invested. I didn't really know anything about it, but it was on and I was around it.
So you said you were 10. So that's the peak era. That's the right time to get into wrestling. Like, that's sort of the magic is there.
Yeah.
I was fucked from the start. I don't know.
Not the daddy magic.
No.
Oh, no.
No, not
I
the
was
daddy
God, I was probably 4 the first time I remember seeing
Yeah.
wrestling, and just hooked since.
So it was the same year.
Nope. 2 years later.
Oh, 2 years later.
Maybe a year late. No, it'd be two. If you were 4, it would have been the end of 93.
It was 93.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So 3.5, 4. Yeah, somewhere around there. You
My
fucking
math was
youngin'.
I
close.
just remember
It's
that one
fine.
Canadian qualifying match with Scott Steiner and IRS.
There you go. I couldn't tell
Don't
you.
know why. It's just like
Yeah.
stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And I've been in ever since.
I couldn't tell you, but I just know I've always watched it. Well, not always, because I did take a break when I was a young adult. But
Okay, so I had peripheral knowledge. I was here for the Rumble. I may or may not have had somebody in my past who like was very into wrestling, so I knew a couple of names and stuff, but not anything about it.
Okay.
And then I was here for Mania when we both got back from Philly
Yep.
on
right.
the last day of night 2 of Mania.
Correct.
And then y'all invited me up for the pay-per-view on Sunday for AEW's pay-per-view, and my social battery was completely expended.
You had a big weekend.
I had a huge weekend,
get it.
and I don't like to be around
I wouldn't want to hang out with
people.
me either. I get it.
No, I would have. There were a couple of moments where I would have rather hung out with you guys, but not. And I did see you guys the night before, or the day before.
Yeah.
You guys came to my son's show at
Correct.
Record Store Day.
Yes,
Thank
sure
you
did.
so much.
No,
that
of
was
It was awesome.
that was
course.
lovely.
How's it?
But-
Yeah, how is the boy?
The boy is great.
All right, good.
Yeah, living the dream.
My dog dapped me up.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
good.
he
It
did.
was a full-on dap.
Yeah.
But so Sunday night, I just didn't have anything left in me to truly socialize. But I was interested enough that I got the pay-per-view on my own and
Oh
sat
my God.
on my own couch, drinking wine and eating pepperoni and
did
cheese
You
and texting
All right.
Brett.
You're so fancy.
you bought this pay-per-view
I did.
through what service provider?
I don't know, pay-per-view.
Okay. Don't do that again.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Rule number one of okay, not rule number one,
No.
but your guide to being a wrestling fan. If there's a group gathering, there's a watching of a pay-per-view, somebody bought it, a password can be shared. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about it that
Don't
way.
worry about it.
But I will
'Cause they're
say
expensive.
also, as
Yeah.
the mother of a musician and as an artist myself, I believe that like this is essentially a form of art, right?
And you like supporting billionaires.
Well, I guess I mean I don't really know the inner workings. I would have to look more into it. But
No, don't, because then
No.
you'll really hate
Yep.
wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'll
I
try.
don't want that innocence.
You
gone
don't
yet.
want to know what we know.
Yeah.
I'll have my heel turn moment.
Yeah. Whoa.
Jesus
Terminology.
Christ. Well, kayfabe.
Wow. Fucking Kazarni over here. All of a sudden it's one tooth Ranoli and we don't know what we're
I remember
doing.
when the marks were on the other side of the rail.
That's right. Do you know what a rat is? Anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't get that reference.
You don't.
No, all right.
And you're not one, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At least not yet. We'll get you there. We'll get you into understanding, not being one, but understanding what one is.
Okay.
It's not great. But so we're going to talk about the pay-per-view, but you did agree for whatever reason to be here for the entire show.
Yeah, I'm going to be here. I might ask questions.
Ask away.
Yeah. Like this is like a show / like we're answering like it's an interview sort
Yes.
Yeah.
of. It's
Well,
happening
I mean,
there.
we'll run through it. If you have questions, we can adjust.
Yeah.
We got the news, we got AEW, we got a little WWE, we got the pay-per-view, obviously, giant pay-per-view, huge, massive pay-per-view. Do you feel like you got your money before we get into all of that? Did you get your money's worth out of this pay-per-view?
100% no.
Okay. Oh.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I got swerved.
Oh, man.
I got swerved.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
No, I thought it was great. I was very entertained.
That's the
Between the cost of the pay-per-view and the cost of the wine and the charcuterie
Yes.
that I made for myself.
Okay, I like it.
Maybe I didn't need to go that way. Like I could have probably just picked up a 6-pack and
Sure.
been fine.
Sure.
I appreciate that.
They are wildly expensive.
They're so.
It does work.
I see
it
why
works
people
in a
do the
group.
parties.
Yeah,
It works in a
that's why
group,
we all get
but-
together.
Which I will say that once upon a time, I was a huge boxing fan, and I used to host the pay-per-view
Perfect.
parties. So I do understand it in that way.
Hell yeah.
Right. Well, boxing's like ludicrous these days, right?
Ludicrous.
UFC, all that.
UFC's insane.
Yeah.
The prices.
Well,
of their pay-per-views.
that's not the same thing, but we're not going to get into that.
Well,
Yeah.
one's an art and one is the UFC.
Right.
I won't argue that.
All right. Well, let's. Unless there's anything else, Tatum. If you need to take, you want us to take you down a particular road, you ask, or we can get into the show as per normal.
Get into the show, and I'm just going to
Okay.
join in wherever it feels natural.
Well, now that you're introduced and you've heard some terminology you don't understand, Brett, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good, man.
I'm good too.
I'm good.
Nothing exciting.
Slow
Same
week.
old, same old. Slow week.
Slayed low.
Yeah, not a giant week in wrestling.
No, it wasn't.
AEW had a very big week. WWE had a quiet week. AEW probably had a little bit too much of a big week, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. People are being... Did we miss the Jags War Room here?
Yeah, I know. I need to see that.
But we have the draft on the other room to see if Tony Khan is in his neck brace. We got a lot riding on this. But
Some people have tattoos riding.
that's
on
true.
this.
Some people do. So, news. You don't have any news?
I don't have anything. I guess the only thing was did New Japan acquire Bushiroad?
Yes.
What was the exact terminology?
I
know Bushiroad owns New Japan, but New Japan acquired
Whatever
Something from Bushiroad?
whatever part of it, but they're changing it to Stardom LLC. They essentially
Okay.
bought Stardom, which was a part
of Bushiroad.
Bushiroad, so it's under a different umbrella or
That
some
makes sense.
shit like that.
Okay.
That is pretty big news. That's pretty cool. I hope they do roll more in. Fingers crossed that Stardom ends up on New Japan World.
I hope so. I hope they just make it all
Yeah,
together.
and the price doesn't go up.
And the price doesn't go up.
Yeah.
And All-Star Grand Queendom is this weekend for Stardom.
Yes.
They announced officially there's going to be English commentary.
Yes, that's awesome. Did they say who it was going to be?
No,
It's not gonna be like- it's gonna be like Walker?
Charlton.
Yeah, they're going to put Charlton over there.
Yeah.
I like Charlton a lot.
Yeah.
I don't love Walker Stewart.
Dude, he's only 22.
I know it's fucking crazy.
just turned 22
Part of me not liking him is jealousy.
Today.
But I'm not a
How the
huge
fuck
fan.
did you land that gig already?
He's the velvet voice, I guess. You gotta know people.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd be cursing too much.
Right, that's absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would be like JR and Josh Burnett. One
Plus,
of us
I
wouldn't
don't
know
think
who
I could
anybody
call
was.
Chase Owens match objective.
No, I'd shut off my mic and be like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Tatum, to be a wrestling fan, you also have to have very strong opinions that you do not waver from, and you have to pick people you absolutely hate. That's just the thing.
It's true.
I'm very good at that.
Yes, it's not true. It actually is a thing that ruins wrestling, but you still have to do it.
Yeah. It's fine.
Let's see. What are we? So hold on. Ba-do-ba-do-boo-boo. How good is it for you to see the inside of this show and how professional we are?
I think Ed got an eye opening when he recorded
Yeah.
with us. He's like, "Oh, you guys are real professional."
Yep. Pro wrestling news. Let's see. I just googled it. That was what that sound was. Oh my god, this non-news story. We can talk about this controversy. AEW using seat fillers. Everybody
That's
uses seat
stupid.
fillers.
It's just-
Everybody.
It's stupid.
So when you go to a live wrestling show,
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
so which is a completely different experience. Live wrestling is so much fun. It is a lot more like any other live sporting event. So like you do get into it more, and you are sort of more emotionally invested when you're there live. Good matches are better, bad matches are okay, like all that kind of stuff. But when you're there, there's a hard cam side, so there's a camera like planted on one side of the arena,
Right.
And they don't typically fill that side up until the rest of it's filled out. But on the opposite side, they don't want empty seats, so they have a crew of seat fillers that they'll bring in, they'll hire, or sometimes it's indie talent, sometimes it's regular
Yeah.
people. And when people get up during TV matches to go to the bathroom or or go to the concession stands or whatever, especially if there's a shitty match at wrestling shows, if there's a real shitty match, you get up and go get your sodas during that match.
It's like award shows.
Right, yeah, they'll bring in those seat fillers. But for whatever reason this week, everybody glommed on AEW doing it like it was a bad thing, like WWE hasn't been doing it for 40 fucking years.
Who hasn't been doing it
Right.
in
Right.
televised? I mean, honestly.
Yeah, not wrong.
But like people for whatever reason like to shit on AEW, and not for whatever reason. I know some of the reasons, and some of it is rightfully so. But like
Some of it's valid.
AEW doesn't get a break, and a lot of media, because WWE is the machine that they are able to help skew that media. Wrestling journalists aren't a real thing, but the people like to think they are. They're not real. But yeah, so I say that from in front of her behind a microphone talking about wrestling. Wrestling journalists aren't real. It's not a real job.
Does Vice have a a group of wrestling journalists?
Well,
Like
that's
they
where-
do
that's
for
where-
every
That's
little...
Dark Side of the Ring's
That's
on
what Dark
Vice.
Side of the Ring is
Yeah,
on
that's on
Vice.
Vice.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so that was the weirdest thing about using seat fillers for Jacksonville. Like, it's not because they didn't sell tickets, and AEW does have a bit of a ticket selling problem, but like, it's just seat fillers. They don't want empty seats when the TV's running.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Do you think that... So you said AEW has a seat selling problem.
Yes.
Ticket selling problem.
Yes, they book arenas that are too big.
Okay, they book arenas that are too big. Also, do you think that it has to do that most of their fan base is more online than like the WWE fan base, or like the more local things that maybe like IWTV or somebody like that doesn't cover, or like
It's called Jerry's Wrestling Internet Wrestling
Jerry's
Emporium.
Jerry's-
Emporium. Come on now. Proper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I only know that because
Yes.
I know it. It's a local thing.
Yeah. So
But I'm asking because like it seems like AEW's fan base is more of like an online, a little bit younger.
no. WWE's younger. The AEW has
Okay.
a hard time bringing in the kids, and their product is a little more adult. They use blood, they curse.
Yeah.
WWE has been in what they've been called the PG era for a long time now.
Yeah.
So blood is banned, no cursing, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So WWE still very much has that hold on parents bringing their young children, which is how you hook people into wrestling.
Sure.
You know, it's a lot easier to
They've got to learn the storylines early.
Right. It's a lot.
True.
It's a lot easier to create a wrestling fan then, and then it doesn't really leave. It's much harder to be an adult and show you wrestling for the first time when you actually get it and are able to suspend your disbelief to be able to watch it and not be like, well, this is fucking stupid. They're not even hitting each other. Yeah.
So I'm a unicorn.
Honestly,
Yeah, right.
yeah. Essentially,
It's, there's some people that have done it, but it's much harder because there is an aspect of suspension of disbelief that you really do have to do because it's more ballet,
Sure.
it's soap opera, that sort of stuff. It's still real to me, damn it. But I understand what people
yeah.
like. AEW, or WWE is fake. AEW is real.
that's that real
But-
stuff, right?
So it's tough because no group of people are more chronically online than wrestling fans. Maybe comic book fans. There's a lot of overlap there.
Yeah.
So like to say that
I
they're
don't know. Hairstylists are pretty
Yeah.
chronically online.
but
We are consuming and creating content
Yeah.
fucking constantly.
the wrestling fans create very little.
Oh.
A lot
it's all
It's a lot of
consumption.
consumption.
Okay.
Unhealthy amounts of consumption. So the only thing they create is shits in their pants over nonsense. And sometimes literally. But
It's true.
AEW has a very dedicated fan base, but they also give a different product that we haven't seen in a while, because WWE has been the only game in town for 20 years until their creation.
Sure.
People kind of forgot that wrestling could be other things, right? Like we used to say this on the show all the time, but if you're 20 years ago, if you're 10 and you're just getting into wrestling, there's only one game in town,
right?
And it's only one game in town for the next 15, 20 years. It's very easy to confuse that WWE is wrestling, and that's just it. Like, there's no, like, what wrestling is what WWE gives you, and there's no sort of deviating from that. While wrestling can be a lot of different styles, deathmatch is what the more southern style, like AEW does. WWE's New York, it's very, that's what everybody, the wrestlers used to call it New York.
Sure.
So a lot of people had a hard time adjusting to that. WWE is a giant media machine. They know what they're doing. They have a lot of the right people in place. They have a lot of the wrong people in place. But they know how to run that machine. They've been running it for a long time. AEW is owned by a billionaire fanboy. That's what Tony Khan is. He was an internet poster. He was a message board kid.
Yeah. Okay.
And while he's got a lot of great talent, and he puts on, what in my opinion, a better product, and they do well in the ratings. They're consistently third in the night in cable, and they sell a few thousand tickets to shows, and they do pretty well. But they do much better on the East Coast. So when they start to venture out, sometimes they'll book a 10,000 seat arena and only sell 2,000 tickets, and it looks like garbage.
Right.
Got it. And I think they're at a place now where they can't back down without the criticism, because they are so criticized, fairly and unfairly, like the seat filler bullshit. So I think they're a little nervous about saying, like, well, let's book arenas half the size because we can fill them up. Because then the people who hate them, and the tribalism is huge. So lots of people that like AEW,
it makes sense,
will say, well, I don't like WWE. And I don't personally watch WWE, but I also don't want them to die and go out of business.
Right.
But a lot of WWE fans will say, like, AEW doesn't even have the right to fucking exist.
Okay.
And it's nonsense. Yeah. But so if they back down to smaller arenas, then that WWE contingent, who are very loud on the internet, are going to be like, oh, look at them. They can't even they got to back down their arena size.
Yeah.
But they need to pick and choose a little better. They've been in a company for 5 years. They're just coming to Allentown for the first time. Yeah. Allentown's a big wrestling town. This area is a huge wrestling town.
This area is a huge wrestling area.
Because it's economically depressed.
Yep.
It's 20 years behind, if not more, in pop culture wise. It's what it is. And also, like,
plus we have
like that's
Pennsylvania.
Right. And Wilkes-Barre's the first place HBO ever was.
Yeah.
Right. Plus we have wrestling schools in Pennsylvania,
Huge.
especially in the coal regions and the depressed manufacturing regions.
Right.
I can remember when my son was younger, going with my ex to a lot of like smaller shows in Hazleton.
WXW. WXW. That's Roman Reigns' parents. That's uncles. Often Sika's his dad.
Yeah.
So that's off of his uncle, off of the Wild Samoan.
I do enjoy that, man.
If you trained in Hazleton,
same.
So Batista trained in Hazleton.
Right. I did know that.
If you trained in Hazleton, you were guaranteed a look because of the connections, because there was run by the Wild Samoans, who are Hall of Famers.
Right.
So you got a look if you trained in Hazleton. And some stars have come out of there, and some non-stars.
Right.
Mostly non-stars. But it's still active. They had local TV. Like, it's a huge wrestling region. It really is. Philly's huge.
Yep. Lehigh Valley for wrestling is fucking massive.
And like AEW does much better in the Northeast and the East Coast than they do when they start to go out. California, they do fine.
They do good in California.
It's that fucking middle of the country when they were like, we're going to run in, not Oklahoma anymore, fuck Oklahoma.
Yep.
Fuck Oklahoma forever. But like when they run in like Nebraska, it's like,
yeah.
So it's just harder. They're just, and they've made mistakes, but they're getting there. But they do have a bit of a ticket problem.
I think that's like a lot of different businesses right now as well. Is you've got younger, newer, different ways of doing things coming up and pushing the envelope in different ways. And so that totally makes sense. It just falls in line with
the thing that people, I think, forget or don't understand, and a lot of people don't understand how much money $1 billion is. But like, so they just got valued at like $2 billion. Tony Khan's dad, Tony Khan owns AEW. His dad owns the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, okay.
And a soccer team.
That's who we're watching for right now, right? Yeah. To see if this dude
Tony
has
Khan's in a neck brace.
I think they made their pick. It's passed. So, but But like his dad alone is worth more than WWE is as a company. He's worth billions.
Right.
So you can waste a lot of money with
waste
billions
a lot of money
and not ever
and
feel it.
build something.
Yeah. So
as ethically
these empty
against
buildings.
billionaireism
Yes, right. Me too.
I am, I can also respect new ways of doing an art form coming in, no matter what business it is.
And again, WWE was the only. It wasn't the only because TNA exists, but that's a whole other thing. You're not ready for that. But like competition.
What is TNA? Is it
total nonstop action?
Oh, it's not tits and ass.
It was in the beginning.
Okay.
But they've changed over the years. But
say it again. Total
nonstop action.
Yes.
And then they had a TV show called Impact.
Yeah.
And then they just switched to being called Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
And earlier this year they switched back to TNA.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I know it's everywhere.
And they've been on TV forever, but they nobody can figure out. It's some sort of somebody ran over a genie and got a wish, and that's how Impact happened. I don't quite understand it.
Okay.
But like competition on TV makes both shows better, right? WWE has been getting better over the last years. Kinda, and AEW needs to step their game up if they want to try and beat the WWE. It's tough.
Yeah.
So, but
people are probably getting sick of you explaining this to me because they already know.
Not at all. I guarantee you, people like it unless they think we're idiots. But anyway, that was a seat filler conversation.
Right.
Let's see.
That was a 20-minute seat filler conversation.
Yeah, Cameron Grimes released. That's news.
Yeah.
Poor Cameron Grimes cried on the internet. Trevor Lee. We were huge fans of Cameron Grimes when we used to when we had a different name.
Like I was
back in the dark ages. Yeah.
I was thinking
he was like the initiator of the Vest Count, even, I believe.
I think he might have been, but I was thinking like, man, that LA Knight feud was awesome in NXT. Like it was so good. It was so much fun, and now he's got released.
Yep.
He looks kind of douchey.
Oh,
Jacksonville traded their pick.
I know. I just
bummer.
Minnesota traded up again.
That's crazy.
Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes
to the moon. He was running a gimmick where he was a hillbilly in NXT when NXT was good, and then one day came out and arrived in like a really fancy car, and turned out he had gotten it was Dogecoin, right?
Like the game when the GameStop stock was like
he got real hot on cryptocurrency and became very rich, and then very like Beverly Hillbillies did a little bit, and it was very funny and it was fun, and then he just eventually faded off TV. But he's a very talented wrestler, and I think he was lightning in a bottle, and they did nothing with him. He was a super talented guy, a little undersized, which is probably why he never got called up. But I think that's a missed opportunity. But yeah, Trevor Lee, come to like LVAC so I can meet you and tell you how much I like you. That'd be awesome. I'll give you a big old hug.
Oh boy!
He's only 6 foot.
Take him at an LVAC show.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, we don't want that to happen.
It could happen.
The Sportster one day ago, why Kurt Angle retired from pro wrestling explained. That's a short article.
Kurt Angle, baby.
Yep. Mark Henry said Chris Jericho is still doing some of the best work in pro wrestling, which it is a fever dream.
I'm sorry, I'm stepping in on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wrong. No,
that's wrong.
That's not happening. That's bullshit.
I almost said this story here. It says Jeff Hardy advised to step back from pro wrestling, and I was like, oh, what happened? And then the next one says Eric Bischoff advises Jeff Hardy to avoid returning to pro wrestling, and that changes that article almost completely. Fuck Eric Bischoff too.
Yeah, I agree.
Eric Bischoff stinks.
Yep.
Get out of here. That's it. That's all the news. Because I'm not going to talk about the Grizzled Young Vets. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. I'm not fucking doing it.
That'll be mentioned next week.
I'm not doing it.
All right. I guess we'll talk about wrestling.
The Grizzled Young Vets are going to be mentioned next week?
Well, they're on Collision this week.
Yuck.
Yeah. They're not very good.
No.
Okay.
I don't like them.
You don't need to know. I wish it was the Motor City Machine Guns.
Me too.
So
where are we going?
I have like a thing from WWE.
Okay.
I didn't really watch Raw.
All right. We can talk about Dark Side of the Ring too if you want to.
But I did see Becky Lynch won the women's title because Rhea's hurt.
Lots of people calling her Becky Hogan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a lot of like, oh, Becky's holding down the women's division again. Like not holding it down as in I'm holding this down, but actually physically holding the division down from expanding.
So Rhea Ripley got hurt.
Yeah.
She got thrown into a wall and legit hurt her shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she had to vacate the belt. And they had a women's battle royal on the Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And Becky Lynch won, so now she's the new champ.
Okay.
Becky Lynch rules, so it's okay.
Becky Lynch is
But
cool.
no, that wasn't my question.
Ooh, okay. I'm sorry.
Why are they calling her Becky Hogan?
Oh, so there's this guy named Hulk Hogan.
You know who Hulk Hogan is?
You know Hulk Hogan?
No, brother.
Brother.
Listen here, dude.
Yeah. So he was notoriously known for like, you know, they would want decisions to happen in certain things, and he had his creative control. And he would famously stroke the Fu Manchu and say, "That doesn't work for me, brother."
Yes.
Hogan notoriously held talent down.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want anybody competing for his top spot.
Right.
Always rumors of his contract being for $1 more than whatever the highest paid person other than him on the show was.
Favored nations, brother.
So he can be the highest paid $1. If you were paying a guy, if the highest guy on the show was $1,000, Hulk Hogan was getting $1,001. Hulk Hogan never got paid $1,000 to do a wrestling show. Probably not since like 1972. But if it was $1 million, he wants $1,001,000.
I wonder how much Terry Bollea got paid to do a wrestling show.
About 4/10 less.
Hulk Hogan looked like McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know he once opened a pasta restaurant?
Yeah, it was called Pasta Mania.
Pasta Mania.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yep.
I think it was at the Mall of America too.
Yeah.
Of course it was. Where else would it be?
It's true.
Sadly, not in my backyard because I would have gone.
I would have went to Pasta Mania. Absolutely.
Guys, you have an Italian on a podcast with you. I can make you homemade pasta.
Yeah, but can you do it while having a blonde Fu Manchu?
Are you Hulk Hogan,
Yes.
brother? Dude, listen here, dude.
No one's got a bigger hog than me, dude.
Yeah, dude. 24-inch pythons, brother.
I can say that shit and wear theatrical makeup as well.
Okay.
Are you gonna get a skullet going on?
You can shave
Sure
the
am.
center of your head.
I'll shave the center of my
right.
head.
Fuck yeah.
It's been a while.
But like, I don't know who else is going to win it. Like Becky,
There's nobody else to fucking.
I wish there was, but there's kind of not, right? At least not somebody the fans are going to react to.
No. But either way, the only thing I did watch for SmackDown, they got new tag team titles.
Yeah.
And they look gorgeous.
Are those the nice ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
They look like the old school
Yeah.
ones, sort of.
Yeah.
The shape, anyway.
Yeah, like the ones the Natural Disasters held.
Damn right. But there was a number one contenders match for the tag titles. It was Street Profits versus AOP.
Why are they vacant?
No, it was a number one contenders.
Oh, number one contender. Okay.
Because the champs are those two douches.
That's one of my
those two
favorite tags. It could be
douches.
anybody.
Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
Ew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But it's Street Profits, Authors of Pain, Legado del Fantasma, and the New Catch Republic.
Oh.
Who would, out of those four teams, who would win?
Well, what members of Legato is it?
Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo.
Oh. That's weird. I thought you were going to tell me 205 and Live, but they're in LWO. They're not with Phantasma. AOP, what was the first team?
Street Profits.
Okay, so I would pick the Street Profits to win, which means that's not who won.
Who would you pick, Tatum?
Street Profits. I like their name.
Ding, ding, ding. Street Profits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, good. I was so worried that the Authors of fucking Pain would have won. And I'm like,
so
oh,
Street
no.
Profits
Authors
won.
of Pain.
Yeah, the author.
Tokar and Razor, or whatever the fuck their names are.
How'd you describe the Authors of Pain once?
Me?
Yeah, it was you who did it.
What did I say? Oh, they're...
You don't have to say it.
Okay. I don't remember the exact wording. It was something
I remember it.
What, are they Serbian?
Lebanese? maybe you called them?
Lebanese. They're thick Lebanese cocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And Doug had tears in his eyes. Doug said, "Don't you ever do that to me again."
They're terrible, though.
Sounds accurate.
Is Ellery still with them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
because they're in.
They're carrying Cross's bullshit thing.
Was it Final Solution or whatever? The fuck it's called?
No, I don't think it's that.
Might as well be.
I mean, it could be.
Could be.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think it's that.
But yeah, Street Profits.
I need
won.
to know what it
And
actually is called.
I think it's called like Final Force. I don't know.
and Fatal Fury.
Final Testament. I think is it Final Testament?
Maybe.
It sounds like something.
That sounds.
carried
Yeah, that
across
sounds
the
better. Jesus Christ. Okay, here's
Am I
here's an
right?
article.
Am I wrong?
Hold on.
Here's an article.
Yep, the Final Testament.
All
Yeah,
right.
there you go. You got there.
Got there eventually. But I hope Street Profits win the tag titles.
Yeah,
I
me
like
too.
them a lot.
I like Street Profits. Are they heel still? Or are they back to
No.
being? No, they're back to being good again.
Dude, so
Because they were with Lashley, right?
they're still with Lashley, and
It's
now,
a good guy group.
Yeah, now they're BFAB is with them.
So they're just what was that called with your favorite wrestler, Top Dollar?
What the fuck was that called?
And Swerve.
I can't remember now.
Yeah.
And My Cousin Tahuti.
And yeah, Cousin Tahuti.
What the fuck was that called? That's crazy that I don't remember that.
Yeah. Shit. Ah.
All right, well, doesn't matter
Hold on,
anyway.
I'll look that up too. Keep talking.
I hope the Street Profits won the tag titles because they're fucking cool as shit. Did you watch anything from TNA Rebellion?
Hit Row.
Hit Row, that was it. Hit Row.
Hit Row.
I remember them.
Yeah.
Did you watch anything from TNA Rebellion?
I did not, because I did not remember that TNA Rebellion happened.
How dare you?
Was it in the UK?
Nope.
Oh.
It was in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay. Known for its rebellions.
Yeah. It was a last man standing match between Josh Alexander and Hammerstone.
Right, yeah. We saw the build of this.
Our
I should have
favorite
watched.
Hammerstone.
Yes, right, because the man
With his chicken and
was
rice
chicken
belly.
and rice, yeah.
He loves chicken and rice.
He does love chicken and rice. He's got a good belly for it.
You would like this because they just beat the shit out of each
I
other.
like both of those gentlemen. And I like it
this
more.
was really good.
I like that Josh Alexander, not Josh, that, what's his name? Hammerstone flex with everybody in those meet and greets. That's fantastic.
While eating chicken,
chicken finger,
bare hands.
eating chicken with his fingers, not chicken fingers. Eating chicken with his fingers out of a Tupperware during a meet and greet. And whenever a person came up for the photo, he would stop. He was shirtless. He was just in his little tighties after the show, and he was literally eating chicken and rice,
Panties?
which we call steroids.
So
But he's literally standing there eating just in his little underwears. And he's just finger eating chicken and rice out of a Tupperware container. And when people pay money for a meet and greet, he would walk over and he would take the picture with them and he would flex it out because he's a real jacked dude because of the chicken and rice. And he'd flex in every one of them. I like the dedication.
Because of the chicken and rice.
Because of
Chicken and rice makes you jacked.
that's
Sure
Hammerstone.
does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like his chicken and rice belly that he has?
Yeah.
That's.
He's
Oh,
bloated from all the chicken and rice.
is that what we would call a power gut?
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit. It has a little bit too much definition.
Yeah.
So you got to be a little fatter for a power gut, but
Okay.
But it is a certain type of belly that you get from doing something. But I wouldn't necessarily call it a power gut.
That's not from chicken and rice.
It is
also.
from chicken and rice.
No, it's not.
It is.
Look at this chicken and rice.
Every
Look
wrestler
at-
should be on
look
chicken
at
and
this
rice.
Damn chicken
I
and rice.
see the chicken
Yeah.
and rice.
Say it's chicken and rice.
That's not what causes
Every
that.
wrestler needs more chicken and rice.
It
than
is.
lions.
We don't make accusations on this show,
Yeah.
Tatum.
What?
Chicken and rice.
I'm not making an
You are
accusation.
making- You're assuming something about this wrestler that would give him that sort of anatomy, and that's not, it's just chicken and rice. It's chicken and rice.
Medically speaking,
You haven't
that doesn't come from chicken.
you haven't
and rice.
listened to enough Final Wrestling Place if you don't know what we're talking about.
No.
Yep, we'll get there.
We'll get you there.
This
eventually,
is
I
a learning
promise.
tree for a reason.
Yeah. Don't. No, it's not.
Oh
We're
God,
not.
I can't say that
Nope,
anymore.
not allowed. So from Collision,
I fucking hate Chris Jericho.
from AEW Collision, I
Yes.
have
Yeah,
all
fuck
things.
that.
Oh, okay. Wait, we don't want to talk about Dark Side of the Ring?
Oh yeah, we
Sad
can do,
Sherry Martel?
Yeah, we can do Dark Side of the Ring. Tatum, have you ever watched Dark Side of the Ring?
I don't think so.
I feel like you should watch these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Because you're not sad enough on Tuesday nights.
that's
at 10
true.
o'clock.
Yeah. Because it's not depressing enough.
Yeah.
Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock?
Yes.
Yeah, you're usually
You're in bed.
No,
That's
you're
my
not.
saddest time. No, I'm not asleep.
It's the saddest time of the week.
I go to bed at like midnight.
So the story about wrestling is that it ruins your life if you're a wrestler, right? It's not happy, especially if you're a wrestler of a certain era.
Right.
So Dark Side of the Ring runs a lot of these documentaries. There's like 4 or 5 seasons
This is the 4th season.
of sad stories. Lots of murder, lots of drugs, lots of arrests, and violence.
I do love me some true crime.
That's essentially what it is.
You would love it.
The true crime of it varies.
it
Most of
is-
the time, it's just really sad.
So it's the emo extension of the soap opera.
So it's real. It's real.
all
It's
real, though. That's the
documentaries.
thing.
It's about particular wrestlers and how
Yeah.
their lives went really terribly wrong because of wrestling.
Listen, you're the one who always says it's fucking real.
It is real. I never
So-
said it wasn't.
I
real to
just,
me, damn it.
I
Protect the
just
business.
said
Oh, okay. I get
it
you.
is the
All right,
extension.
Okay. All right, yeah. Sure.
emo extension.
Okay, I think emo's a word for it. But so this episode, the new episode was on Sensational Sherri, who is a legend.
Yeah. Do you know what Sensational Sherri is?
I don't.
She was a wrestler in the 80s and then a manager in the 90s. She was also Scary Sherri, also
Okay.
Queen Sherri. She's managed Harlem Heat.
No, in that era, I
managed
only
Shawn
knew
Michaels.
a couple of male
She managed $1 Million
wrestlers.
Man.
Oh, I knew who that guy was.
Yeah. That was before he cheated on his taxes and stole money from organizations, allegedly.
I don't even know if you have to say allegedly anymore.
Okay, well. But so Sherri...
That is a good picture. That's Sensational Sherri.
Oh.
And that's Shawn Michaels.
What picture is it? Oh, yeah, that's a good picture. Sherri.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. So...
think about that.
Sherri was a badass.
Yeah, Sherri, legit badass.
And so they did this episode on her, and like I learned a few things. I didn't know that she walked out of Moolah's school.
That makes me like her.
Yeah, right.
More.
Moolah. I said this too. Do you think they'll ever be honest enough to do a Moolah episode? Did they do a Moolah
seasons ago?
Did they? Did they? But did they actually go into like the sex slavery and all that shit?
If I remember correctly.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fabulous Moolah was a WWE wrestler from way back in the day, and she trained basically every other woman that the WWE would accept. And part of her training was that she would use the women that she trained for sexual favors.
Yep.
With this face?
Yeah, that's Moolah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, when she was younger, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah, Mae Young.
Moolah.
Yeah, yep. Fabulous Moolah. WWE legend. They once tried to name a tournament after her, and the fans revolted because she's a piece of shit, and they changed it. But, yeah.
Sure did.
But anyway, Sherri's great. I love seeing those stories. I love seeing her beat the shit out of the dudes.
I was with the stories where like she could just drink dudes under the table.
Yeah.
She was such a badass, man.
They didn't go deep into like her like put with Sean to have Sean's back and all that kind of stuff. But I understand why.
Focus more on her.
Yeah, more on her.
I feel real bad for her son.
Yeah, that was tough. So she had a child young and like abandoned him, like left him, but like did like send money back and stuff. But like basically were like, "Now I'm picking wrestling over you."
Yeah.
But it was her long term career, and she died very young, 49.
Yep.
From drug overdose. Got really big into pills and everything else, somas, and which is very popular among wrestling.
Yes.
But she had a very long career, and she was super cool. And she once wore an outfit where her butt cheeks were out on was that a Mania? It was
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam 92.
And it's great.
Was that the same year that Cher did the Turn Back Time video and had her butt cheeks out on the aircraft carrier?
I would imagine Turn Back Time was early.
It was around that time.
Turn Back Time was probably 89.
That would be my guess.
That's fucked up if I know that, and that's the year I was born.
89.
See? I know my shit.
So, but the one thing for me, and I always promise I'm not going to talk about Eric Bischoff on this show, but fuck Eric Bischoff. I really like that somebody on the show brought up the point. It might have been Medusa, even, who was also full of shit.
Yeah.
But said that like she got fired from WCW because she failed all these drug tests, and they were like, "Why didn't any of the guys? What about the guys that were there that kept failing these drug tests? That's weird that they got to keep their job. They just got sent home or sent to rehab, but Sherri was let go."
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting. No, it was Medusa
Weird.
that pointed that out.
Happens.
It
doesn't happen today anymore.
Right.
Certainly.
Industry,
Think of the past.
industry and, wrestling in particular has always traditionally been very good to women. So,
Okay.
Very
yeah,
equal,
it's really interesting for that. But yeah, and her son's sick and, but he seemingly loved his mom and sort of adored her and liked that she was famous to a point. And he had a really good support system growing up. But yeah, it's another sad story. But I miss Sherri. I think a lot of people forget about Sherri in the long term.
Sadly.
And like it was cool to see Rockin' Robin and all that. But so Sherri ends up quitting Moolah's school because she was like, I'm not going to let anybody treat me this way.
Right.
And then gets to the WWF on her own. And then becomes the person to beat Moolah for the women's title that Moolah had for like 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so...
Love that.
Sherri
Love that
rocked.
energy.
Yeah, Sherri was
rocked.
great. Sherri was a real badass, and like a lot of the story was just about how she would drink the guys under the table and just sort of party and, make everybody look like chumps because she was fucking awesome.
Party a little too hard.
A little too hard.
Especially at the end.
And it was sad to see the clip of her doing that shoot interview where she was just sort of like... like just talking about what she wishes she was known as and the things she wished she did differently, and then she dies so shortly afterwards. It was like watching this video of her doing this very candid interview, and then you find out like she's like, I wish I could have done this. I just want to be around to make it up to my family and this and that, and then she dies.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Not happy episodes. Sometimes they're fun because like, usually they end up in death, but like sometimes it's like bar fights and whatever.
Yeah.
And then some episodes are like, hey, beat the shit out of all of his wives for years and years, and then sometimes it's
You
really
should watch
sad.
it. Real feel good on television.
Real feel good.
Feel good entertainment for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, love you, Sherry.
Yeah. So I don't have much for AEW pre the pay-per-view.
Okay.
I just have Collision. There was that bunkhouse brawl.
Yeah.
Which was dope as fuck. Danielson and Claudio against Fletcher. Was it Fletcher and Hobbs?
Yeah.
I love me a bunkhouse brawl.
Yeah, Bunkhouse Brawls rule.
Brian,
Do you know Bunkhouse Brawl list table?
No, I don't.
Brian Danielson bled.
Yep.
Which, hey, you fucking bleed. I immediately
Right.
love you. Usually.
Absolutely.
But it was more so Danielson's promo after the match where he's just like, kind of reiterated. He's like, I never felt God in church. I feel God in this wrestling ring.
Yes.
It's like, me too, brother. Me too, Brian Danielson. Thank you for
too.
being you. More on you later because you were the fucking man.
Kyle Fletcher did put out a call on his Twitter about what a bunkhouse match is.
Tried to fucking respond.
Me
man.
too. I did. I sent him a video, told him what to do, and the fucker still wore his knee pads under his jeans.
Sad.
So I'm in the scheme of things, I'm on Kyle Fletcher's side. But that's weakening the walls here a little bit. The knee pads on the outside.
Listen.
Bunkhouse Brawl's like a street fight kind of thing. Doesn't have to be in the ring.
You wear your jeans with your knee pads over the jeans.
Jeans can be tucked into the boots or out.
Yeah, you can wear
like
your
them
normal
tucked in.
wrestling boots or cowboy boots.
Right?
Or like high techs.
Yeah.
And you just fight and
And a white
bleed.
T-shirt usually, so that you can
Yeah,
bleed
you
on
wear a
it.
white T-shirt.
Yeah.
But then if your hair's dyed blonde, you're supposed to really run the razor.
Yeah, so you can push the blood into your hair. It makes it look cooler on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrestling.
You're like, yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah. So it was very funny when in the bunkhouse, Dragon gets hit by the chair, and before camera cuts away, he starts digging at his wrist tape, and I was like, "You son of a bitch, you should know."
I like when Claudio threw the trash can and the trash went everywhere, and then he went back and
He
picked
cleaned
up
it up,
the trash.
right? Because he worked VFW halls for too long.
Because he's Swiss.
Yeah,
He's Swiss.
he's polite.
Yeah, he's a polite man.
Polite. He's polite.
That's something I had from that show.
So, really quick, were you shocked on Rampage that? Was Rampage after Collision?
Rampage
Oh,
was
okay.
right after.
All right. I'm thinking out of order, so I don't have to bring that up right now. I liked the Edge, Kingston, and Chicken little tune-up match before the pay-per-view.
Don't remember who they wrestled.
Top Flight and Action and Andretti, and they just smoked them. They were just clearly having so much fun, so I really enjoyed it because I like those three guys a lot. And Dragon had his hair out. He didn't have the braids for Collision.
That's right. So the guy with the braids, who you were like,
yeah.
he had his hair out the night before. Mm-hmm. It was real long and flowy.
What was his name?
Brian Danielson.
Oh.
Yeah, the night before his hair was not braided. It was just out and very long. Didn't realize his hair was that fucking long right now.
Right.
Okay.
And it was nice, though.
And we did get good promos. Willow's been killing it on promos.
I know you did.
I really did.
Makes me sad.
That's a shame. He's vegan. Does that count?
I don't know if he's vegan anymore.
No, he's not vegan anymore?
he is.
I'm pretty sure he is. I know he can't eat soy because he developed an allergy, but I think he's still vegan. We got Willow's promo was really good. There's some good promos on this show. We also got an appearance by Layla Hirsch that we haven't had in a long time.
Ugh.
Yeah, she wrestled Sky Blue.
Hi, Adam.
There was a like they lost the plot a little bit, and then for the end, Sky Blue very clearly it looked in camera while talking to Layla Hirsch, said, "Kick me in the face," and then they went to the finish.
Good.
So yeah, and then we had the Elite and Pac versus Pac and FTR.
Oh yeah, that match
And it
was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this week. I mean, spoilers for Dynamite, but like they didn't push the Pac thing this on Dynamite. But I guess maybe that's over. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know where that's
Whatever.
going to go from here.
But yeah, and then Rampage after that because it was 3 hours of Collision, and we're getting 3 hours of Collision next week too, right?
Yeah, on Saturday, Collision followed by Rampage.
Yeah.
Again.
This was on 420. Tatum.
Oh.
Saturday, 420.
Yeah, dude.
So Rob Van Dam wrestled. Rob Van Dam is a very legendary wrestler in ECW from Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
He looks a little bit like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, I do remember that name.
Okay. The AEW brings him in sometimes, but always on 420. And they wrestle an elimination style 4-way, which I like. I like elimination style matches.
different.
But
He
they
wears
don't
a
do
singlet?
Yeah.
Still?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, airbrush singlet, usually with a yin yang. I think this one had a bong on it.
It had a bong,
and it
yeah.
said 420 on the back because he's a very noted stoner.
Sure is.
And he wins, so good for him.
He won on his
I
own.
like RVD. RVD was a big shot in ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
So he's a favorite around here. And we also on this show get the announcement that Ruby Riott is pregnant.
Yeah, real life.
Good for
pregnant.
her.
Her and Angelo Parker.
Yeah, good for them. And good for us.
That's mean.
It's fine. She stinks. Get her off my TV.
No, really,
Go raise your child.
No, she stinks. Go raise your child.
She's gotta be a
Go
better,
raise your child. That's the name of this fucking episode.
she's gotta be a better mom than she is a wrestler.
Go raise your child. The only thing I had from Rampage was my poor Yuka Sakazaki.
I know. Did we get confirmation on what happened?
No, it's something with her knee for sure.
And that
Because it was her, Emi Sakura, and everybody was real excited about it.
I was super excited about it.
It was like, what, maybe a minute or two into the match where
she fought through it. It was still a good
her knee
match.
got banged up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still good, but that is upsetting because Yuka just back from a neck injury. But she fought through it, so like hopefully it's not so bad. It looked like she tore an ACL maybe or something. Ugh. But then she was doing squats on the outside to try and loosen it up.
Trying anything, but it's still.
It's just she just did a thing over the ropes and landed weird on the ground, and that was that. It happens.
Probably not the first torn ACL we'll talk about. Because I think there was another one.
That's a bummer too. We don't have confirmation on that either.
No.
Yeah, and then we did get Cool Kyle, Rocky, and Daddy Magic versus the Kingdom. I got to bring up Daddy Magic because Tatum is here. That was sort of your first introduction to wrestling was when you got mad at Daddy Magic.
Well, it was we talked about my first introduction to, but yeah,
modern.
I was mad at Daddy
Since
Magic.
We've known you.
I am a huge fan of a podcast called Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM podcast. It's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. It could be both. But during the course, so in this show, they talk about Daddy Magic and whatever, and they made merch and whatever, and then Matt Menard changes his name to Daddy Magic
because he was Big Magic,
right? And then he changes it like as they're at the height of gaining their notoriety, he decides to change his name to that. And he could have been unaware of them, and I know that they were not unaware of him because Anthony Birch is notoriously a big wrestling fan. The DM.
Okay.
Daddy Master. And
that's not what that means.
And
I think you're lying.
And so then he changed his name, and they had this like kind of legal battle over the trademark
for merch. Yeah,
for merch, and then Matt came on the podcast.
They squashed it. Apparently.
They did. It was actually not. It was like on a Patreon episode or whatever. It wasn't even like
you got to make people pay.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense. Make that money.
They squashed it, and they were able to keep their thing. He was able to keep his thing.
Things. But everybody's keeping their things.
Everybody's keeping their things.
It's true.
But I don't know. I was still pissed about it.
Are you still mad about it?
No, okay. I'm not even. I don't even really give a fuck.
If it makes you feel any better, Matt Menard, Daddy Magic, Big Magic, is a very good guy in real life.
I hope so.
He's friends with some people on the network here.
Yes.
Because he was a Chikara wrestler and sort of locally.
Okay.
He's a Canadian guy, but like he used to come down for Chikara and stuff. So he does have personally outside. I mean, wrestling people, but like not wrestling persona wise, he is a good human being. So
good.
Yeah. Very good dude.
That does definitely help.
Yeah. We've seen him wrestle in like gymnasiums and stuff a lot. Like we've been seeing him a long time. Yeah.
God damn it.
So
the best.
Very talented guy. And his tag partner, Cool Hand Ange, is the one who is now going to have a child with Ruby Soho or Ruby Riott.
Yeah.
Ruby Riott. No, Ruby Soho.
You're right. You were right. Yeah, you're right the first time.
Yeah, okay. I was wrong before.
Well, she didn't say Heidi Lovelace.
That's true.
All right, Dynasty.
The whole reason why Tatum is here.
All right, Tatum.
I'm here.
Are you ready?
This is your time to shine.
Yeah.
This is the lion's share of this podcast. This is why we're here.
I kind of knew Tatum was in on this because we got a text. I wasn't even at the house yet.
Right.
About Miss Renee and her wonderful outfit.
Was this the heart-shaped number?
No, this was
That
was this week.
Yeah, this was last night. But this was Her in the white.
Oh, the white.
In the pre, oh, okay,
Yes, on the pre-show.
That's right, because
pretty
I
lady.
immediately texted you as soon as I
Yeah.
put on the pre-show, and I was like, Miss Renee looks fucking hot. I would totally wear that outfit.
Mm-hmm. She's married to John Moxley,
Who's that?
the IWGP.
He wasn't on the pay-per-view. So
Oh, he wasn't on the pay-per-view, right?
okay.
Yeah. You won't really know. Mox. He was in AEW.
Okay.
He used to be Dean Ambrose in WWE. You wouldn't know that either. But yeah.
Nope.
So.
But they're married and they're the best.
They are.
They're like one of the coolest
Yes.
couples I've ever seen.
I love that. That's great. She looked so cute in her
Stunning.
Yeah, she always
way
does.
oversized blazer and little tube top and mini shorts and heels, all white.
Looked
I
fantastic.
100% would wear
that-
that.
yeah, that's John
oh yeah,
Moxley.
that's a great photo.
He's the best.
He's the best.
They-
Moxley rules.
I bet they have a really fun marriage.
You can read John Moxley's book. They have a very fun marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will be reading that.
I have it.
I'll let you. I'll
Yeah.
say, borrow my
Great.
copy, his copy, who's ever.
Yeah.
So really, for the pre-show, nothing of like note happened that I remember, except for Bullet Club Gold winning the trios titles.
Yeah. The combining the yeah.
Yeah, the Acclaimed is cooked. It's kind of done. Max
Yeah.
Caster
There.
kind of.
Is that a better picture of him?
Yeah,
He's a handsome guy. Man. I love Mox.
he's not a script.
He's a handsome dude. He runs on a treadmill in jeans and boots.
He does. He used to do cocaine and go to the library.
Yeah. They just let you read books for free.
That's what he said. For real, for fun. He used to do cocaine and go to the library, and he says, "You guys know that they just let you read books for free here."
That's amazing.
And they let you take
Yeah.
CDs and bring them back and get more CDs.
And he sleeps in his boots and in like his Timberland boots and his jeans because you never know when you have to go.
yeah.
Love this guy. Love this guy.
He's the fucking
He's
best.
he's an actual maniac from the streets of Cincinnati.
Yeah, I love
I'm
him
here
so
for
much.
it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
He also recently went, like a year or two ago when he wrote the book, he went to rehab. He had a big drinking problem, and he kicked that. And then he was living in Vegas, and he moved back to Cincinnati with Miss Renee and everything.
Yeah.
So, and they have a young daughter.
Yeah. Leaving
What an
Vegas is
adorable
always a
family.
good
Yes.
choice.
Yeah.
So, all right. Dynasty.
Dynasty.
Okay, so pre-show.
Yes.
Yeah, pre-show Bullet Club beats the Acclaim.
Like, what should have happened? It wasn't great. You claimed her dead. Dead in the water to me, you,
Just kinda
everybody.
cooked.
How do you feel about the Acclaimed?
Did you see
I
this?
didn't check into a ton of the
Okay.
pre-show.
Okay.
I was still
Okay.
like
All right.
dicking
You
around
were
my
half and
house
half.
and like
Okay, so
yeah,
you
I was
missed-
in
was
and
this
out.
the rap about Trump falling asleep? Was that this one?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
They stink. I like
just
Bowens a
kinda-
lot, but it's dead in the water.
Yeah, I had a conversation about what they should do with Bowens earlier today.
With who? Oh, no.
I think it's time.
Yeah, I think so too.
Break them off.
Bowens is the talented dude.
Yep.
Do you think you can get away with putting Billy in BC Gold with his kids again?
I would kind of love that. So the pay-per-view starts. First match for the Continental Championship. We keep wanting to call it fucking Continental Classic. Kazuchika Okada
Yes.
versus Pac. Tatum.
I had a controversial take on this.
You had a very controversial take, to which I may have yelled at you through text message.
Oh.
To which
And I apologize.
to which
you yelled back.
I don't apologize.
Yelled back and I dug my heels into the mat.
You did, and
Okay.
you explained, and I went, okay, all right,
Okay.
all right.
Is it that you hate Asians? Is that what you're about to
Jesus.
say?
No, not at all.
Okay. I'm just trying to guess. What happened? What'd you do?
Okay, so I was not interested in Okada.
Breaks my heart.
Why?
I
Maker.
didn't like his attitude.
He's the man who makes it rain.
Okay.
He immediately seemed like somebody who's just a moneymaker.
Yeah, he makes all the money. He makes it rain money.
He's the man who makes it rain money.
Yeah, cool.
He's also a bad guy. You're not supposed to like him, but whatever. So he's
Right.
doing a good job. He's at it.
And I think that was part of my text to you. And I did I did find out that Pac was coming off of a year off.
Yes.
Or something, right? So I knew
We're not feeding her any of this
No,
information,
I
just
know.
so everyone knows
Yeah.
who's listening.
No.
This is all Tatum.
Tatum made notes.
I have a notebook in front of me.
She's done more work for this podcast than Brett and I have ever done.
Like, yeah. That's so cool.
I like the energy.
Okay, so I knew that he was coming off of a year off.
Yes.
So that already made me kind of in on him.
Okay.
Okada came in. I didn't like his energy at all.
Okay.
I thought he seemed like he was kind of cunty.
He's there, yeah.
As our friend Joe Sposto likes to say, that Okada seems like a real big jerk.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a
There
jerk.
you go.
Yeah.
He's a jerk.
And also, Pac is a moody Brit, and I'm kind of partial to...
He's a bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the
Like,
bastard.
I love that.
They are both phenomenal wrestlers.
They were very good. They
Match
were
was fucking
Yeah.
They were
awesome.
both very good. This match was awesome.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it very much, and I was pissed when Pac lost, and
yeah.
I let you know it.
You sure did.
So Okada just won that belt, and we do love Pac. And Okada genuinely is like top 3 wrestler in the world, interchangeable.
Ever.
I can
also
tell.
Ever.
I can tell.
so-
But I don't know if I said this to you or if it was somebody else. And I had mentioned earlier in the podcast, I was
Are you talking to other people about wrestling?
I was a very big boxing.
Yeah.
Right.
I was a very big boxing fan at one point, and Ricky Hatton was my guy.
Wow, Ricky Hatton. Okay.
Okay, and
I'm gonna Google that.
He's a
and
Brit.
I am 100% anti Mayweather. Okay, so
agreed.
so my choices on this match, not knowing anything, coming in, looking at just those things I did, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
I told you that Pac is a bastard and you can fix him.
Yeah. To which I said, yes, I know I can. That's the only choices I ever make.
You use some fancy expression, and I go, I have to look that up because I don't know what that means.
Oh my God.
And it means her MO, but she used what the M and the O stands for.
I did. I said, I said
modus
that is
operandi.
my modus operandi.
Sure,
Yeah.
I had to look it up.
And he said, Tatum.
Yeah, I go, Tatum, I have to look this up.
look this up.
I don't know
That's
what that means.
sidebar to that. One of my favorite jokes on the Tick live action TV show. I don't know if you guys remember the Tick.
I sure do.
With Patrick
Yeah.
Warburton. There's a great episode where he's talking to Arthur, and it's the episode where they find like the Tick has a life. They find his sister or whatever. In the cartoon, it was like his wife, but I think in the show, or maybe in the show, it was his wife too. I don't remember. But they find out that he has like this other life that Arthur didn't know about, and the Tick hasn't talked about. And Arthur is talking, and he's yelling at the Tick, and he says, like, I can't believe this whole their life. I can't believe you lied to me. Is that your whole MO? And the Tick goes, my Mo?
Yeah.
And then because it turns out that he had like this whole other family, Arthur says, Tick, I just don't understand. That's like bigamy. And the Tick goes, no, Arthur, this is very big of you.
Oh my God.
And I just in my brain forever because of Patrick Warburton's excellent delivery, and I love the Tick. So Mo, you learned something. See, look at that.
See?
It's already enriching your life.
Listen, if you listen to Wings on Wings, you know Tatum is the class of that podcast.
Absolutely.
And we're just scumbags.
Right. She's the class and we're the ass.
Yeah. We put the ass in
And
class.
Doug's the something. I'm not going to bring that up.
My life
Love
coach.
you, buddy.
And
Doug
my
is
death coach.
everything.
That's true.
Love that human being.
Before we continue on to this, because we haven't had this conversation before, and you said that Pac versus Okada, you liked the match. What does that mean to you? Why did you? What made you realize or think this was a good match? I know why. I think it's a good match. Brett knows why. You know what I mean?
I love this question. Yeah.
Because like as a new wrestling fan, like it sometimes it could be a little difficult to know what's good and bad or what style you like. Because a lot of people may not like a style like this. Of wrestling, because it is a little different than what WWE can give you sometimes, and it always varies. So what to you, from how little wrestling you've consumed, makes a good match? Using this as the example, because it was very good.
I think that there was a lot of back and forth, which I really enjoyed. It wasn't like somebody is dominating the entire time, and it's a clear, like, this person is completely getting wiped out.
That's called a squash if it was that way.
Yeah, I'm automatically out. Okay. If it looks that way.
They have a purpose, but I get it.
Sure.
It wouldn't be on a pay-per-view. Well, hopefully.
Right.
Not on a pay-per-view.
I don't know. I mean, I think you could kind of feel the drama in it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing for me, because like if I'm going to watch something like this, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's spot on.
It's interesting. The reason why I ask is because like wrestling fans do develop a taste, right? For certain kinds of matches or wrestlers or styles and all that kind of thing. And these two are they're some of the best in the world. Like Pac is an incredible wrestler. So it's interesting that like you can just sort of watch them. Like that's how good they are, right?
Yes.
Someone who is essentially a wrestling novice can watch these two guys and be like, oh wait, this is really good.
Yeah.
Because it was, and it's a good sort of introduction because they are that good. Not a lot of people can do what these guys do. AEW has a lot of really talented wrestlers. Even still in AEW, some of their more talented wrestlers can't do what these guys do. These two specifically, or some people later on. So it is interesting to see because, like, when I watch, my 30 plus years of wrestling viewing and knowledge, the thing that these guys do really well for me is, and we were talking about this before, is it's very easy for me to suspend my disbelief when watching guys like this.
Right.
Yep.
And as part of it, I like the moves and I understand how they're doing them and I, and there is, and the other thing too that, and it's a WWE fan problem, they don't really do as well sometimes, but there should be the good matches, the great matches, tell a story in the ring. Without like, WWE and AEW, wrestling has that sort of soap opera side where they're cutting promos and they're doing backstage and vignettes and pre-tapes and all that give you the chapters of a story and actual talking and them, talking to each other and promos and back and forth like that. But the great ones in the ring tell a story start to finish of the match. And there's a build and there's back and forth like you said, and the bad guy has a particular role to play and the good guy has a particular role to play, and the great ones don't cross those. A bad guy shouldn't be working to get cheered so much because that's not his job. The crowd is supposed to boo him. And so the things that he does in a match are supposed to elicit that response from the crowd.
And he really leaned into that.
Okada is a great prick.
Right.
Yeah.
He
real
is
big jerk.
Yes.
He is a real big jerk. He is a great prick. It was really easy to root against him.
Yeah.
And
it's also very easy to root for him when he's a good guy. He's very talented.
Well, and I could see that as well. Even though he wears...
And Pac is also good on the other side. Pac is a great bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I could see
and
that.
And not every wrestler
can
can
see
do
that
either.
too.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're watching, like, you can see the setup coming. Often you can see the setup coming, and you know what's about to happen, whatever, and you're like, oh, please, just like get up off the fucking mat and like, But truly, this was it was believable.
There's always going to be aspects of that. Sort of watching the guys like, well, what are you waiting for? Why aren't you up yet?
Yeah.
Why are you not looking at this guy when he's running at you? That kind of stuff. In every match that will be there, but the great ones minimize it, or the great ones know how to do little things so that it looks like something they're not waiting, that they are doing something else, or there's a reason why they haven't turned around, or whatever. There's the really, really great ones, the Okadas, the Danielsons, the Bret Harts, like they will make sure that every single step they take in that ring is part of the story they're telling. And not that good matches don't happen when guys don't know how to do that.
Right.
But it is really elevated. And this is such an interesting match with you watching this. Like, this is probably like the first complete wrestling match you remember ever watching, or...
Well...
Is this the first pay-per-view you've watched? And pay-per-view does have the big-time matches on it. But,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the other things that we've watched together.
Right, sure.
Obviously I was very invested in Punk versus, was it Rhodes at the end of
at the Rumble? Yeah,
Rumble,
well, money was
you
on
and
the
I
line.
had money on the line against each other.
Right, exactly.
Who won?
Yeah, DJ
Well,
won.
money, it was me. It was my favorite Cody Rhodes, who I've been invested in for years. No matter what,
you're on that Nightmare Narcotic.
No matter what, Tim, the tailor-made man, told you.
There's some beef there.
What, me and Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim. Listen to Final Wrestling Place from this week because I'm getting a little caught
What was
up
the
in.
picture?
What picture?
Oh, that Marcus sent you. That Tim wanted him to send you.
Oh, yeah. We won't talk about that. But just since we're talking about this really quick, Tim on Final Wrestling Places of the Week did say that he doesn't think that he's invited up to the compound anymore.
Yes, that's true. I did hear
and
that.
Marcus gave shout-outs to Bugsy and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Tim, you're certainly still invited. Your seat is just on the porch. You got to watch through the windows, and maybe I won't pull the curtains. But you can still come here.
Tim.
To be fair, Tim is the one who shouted out Bugsy, and
Well,
Marcus is the one who
just give
shouted
him
out
the
Wednesday.
credit away from
Right?
Tim.
Just taking
I'm
the
sorry.
credit. Some things I do on the show on purpose, Tatum. Anyway, so Timsy, buddy, I'm kidding. I love you. But yeah, so that is endlessly fascinating to me. So it's really interesting to hear because hear you say well, this was believable, and I was able to follow the story, and there was
Yeah.
back and forth because I can give you something let me pull something out of thin air. A Chris Jericho match, and you would have a completely different experience because Jericho fucking stinks. And I can go much lower than Jericho. Jericho stinks because of what he was.
Is that the match we're talking about next?
No.
But there is way worse wrestling. So I'm glad when you're like, I'm going to sit down and watch this pay-per-view. It opened up with a match that shows you what wrestling could be and
Yes,
should be.
absolutely.
Not
Yeah.
everybody can achieve these. Doesn't mean that the other matches are good or bad or aren't good. But these guys they're special.
This
These are
was
some
my
special wrestlers.
second favorite match of the night.
I'll have to think about it, but it's pretty close.
Willow Nightingale beats Julia Hart officially for the TBS title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Long time coming. Mm-hmm. Willow fucking rules. I'm
Willow's
very
awesome.
excited-
Favorite on the show,
I'm
absolutely.
Very excited for her.
Yeah.
Still mad I never got my Mark Pickett LVAC.
So many opportunities.
After how many times I'm
And that's
going to
so-
go now. We'll get her next time.
Willow,
Never did.
who we really like, wrestled Julia Hart.
Yeah.
Willow is New Yorker.
Yes.
Would be on a lot of the shows that we go to that Joe works or whatever. So she's in that group, and we'd see her in indie shows all the time. And we're like, yeah, next time we'll get a picture with her and we'll bother her or whatever. And now she's big time, and we'd have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So usually you get a T-shirt, a little picture, but not anymore. Willow's a goddamn star, and great for her. I love seeing
That's
Willow.
great for her.
The match was okay.
The,
Rumors of Julia being hurt.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's rumors that she's banged up.
oh, really?
Yeah, and Julia's very young. She's only like 21, 22.
She looked very young.
Yes.
So my knee-jerk reaction coming into it, so behind the curtain, Brett and I were texting this whole time, and he would say, okay, who you got for this?
Mm-hmm.
And if I wanted insight, I would ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I would just give my knee-jerk reaction and
Mm-hmm.
then Google the people. So when he said, who do you have for this? I said, the witch.
Yes, it was the witch.
And it's not we talk about Julia's our most improved from last year.
Yep.
Some people think she regressed. I think they just weren't giving her as much opportunities. And if she's banged up, that does stink. But she has gotten a lot better. But Willow is
So
very good.
yeah, so coming into the match, I was rooting for Julia because I wanted the witch. I liked her promo video. I thought it was
Yeah.
I
Yes.
vibed with it.
She started in AEW as a cheerleader.
And
Yeah.
oh,
And she
that
hated it.
And she hated
Yeah.
it. Yep.
that checks. That's a great backstory.
Yep. Cheerleader to a witch.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
But then as the match went on, I really loved Willow.
Michelle's
I
a
could
big
see-
fan of Willow as well. Michelle
Yeah.
likes Willow.
Okay. I
Sorry,
had texted Michelle.
Can I interject really quick?
Yeah, sure.
He did it.
He did it. He came
He
with
did it.
a neck brace on.
Oh my god.
He fucking did it.
Wow. That
Context for the
is-
listeners who are not
Tony-
looking at the picture.
Tony Khan in the Jag, they just had their pick in the draft room, in the war room for the Jags. He wore the neck brace. Holy shit. Unbelievable.
What happened to him?
He got the end of Tony Khan last night on Dynamite. We're skipping it a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
But he was in the story with Jungle Boy, who's Luke Perry's son. For real. It's Luke Perry's kid.
Yeah.
He'd been suspended after the stuff with CM Punk. He made his comeback, but he was still suspended. But him and Tony Khan agreed to meet in the ring and have a moment. They hugged, like you're welcome back. How could I? I don't want to be here without you, kind of thing. And then he turned on him and him and the Young Bucks beat up Tony Khan and gave him a stretcher job at the end of the show. That was how the show ended.
Right.
And Tony Khan's dad owns the Jags. Tony's their analyst. He's their draft guy. He's the numbers dude. He's a crazy person who doesn't sleep. So he got a pile driver, which hurts your neck. So he wore a neck brace tonight.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it was that bad,
That's
why is he
awesome.
wearing that kind of neck brace, though?
Shh.
Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
Shh.
Kayfabe.
Let us have this moment.
I'm sorry.
How dare you?
I can't believe he did that. It makes me love him so much more.
Yep.
I'm always a little bit on the fence with Tony, a little embarrassed because he's like a billionaire rich kid, but that's fucking awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's big. Right. I saw the Jags were on there, so I knew we had to bust in and ruin some lives.
Okay,
Mike, I'm so excited for that tattaoo, Mike.
Yep, Mike has to get a
so
tattoo
excited.
So Michelle loves Willow,
yes.
and I can see why.
Yes.
She's the babe with the power.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and just last week,
And those booty shorts.
Willow is also super attractive. Yes,
She looks great.
She's very pretty.
So I don't know when the match was. I think it might have been before this, but the House of Black, maybe it was after it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that match was on this.
It was before.
I didn't have it written
House
down.
of Black was right before.
But the guy,
I have it written down.
So it's fine that it went this way because Brody King, the big guy with the beard, the very big guy, the full body tattooed demon guy.
Okay.
In that, the week before on TV had a little run in with Willow, and Willow beat him up.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes. But the match with Willow wasn't great, but Willow's champion, even though it's just going to be transitional to Mercedes, which stinks. People say transitional all the time. It's getting a bit of a bad rap, but she's she's only going to hold it for the month.
No.
And it's fine. But.
We're gonna talk about this.
Okay, we'll go back to House of Black.
We'll go back to House of Black.
I skipped over.
Son of a bitch.
We have to finish this one because
you don't like Eddie Kingston.
You mentioned Sasha Banks.
Yes, Mercedes money.
Or as I texted Brett, who the fuck?
CEO. Sorry.
Or as I texted Brett, who the fuck is this Wish version of Cardi B?
Yes, yeah, she was not.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's Snoop Dogg's actual cousin.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And her favorite wrestler, her father, Eddie Guerrero.
That's right.
That was that's Sasha. Mercedes.
You're not a Mercedes fan?
Mercedes. I hated her energy.
She used to go to Sapphire to get her hair dyed in Pittston or whatever. Was it called Sapphire? Yeah.
Oh, I know.
She used to talk about it. She actually used to shout it on TV. That was the only place she'd go to get her hair done.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Now she has those really terrible wigs that are too many colors.
Because I asked her, I said, "What'd you think of the wig?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good.
We like wigs on the Soon to Be Named network.
I love a wig.
Yeah.
A good one.
I'm wearing one right now.
Fact.
I'm sorry, I'm wearing a Merc and it's different. My bad.
Jesus.
My fault. I get confused.
I'm confused.
The hair on my head, perfect.
That's what you said.
Well, kind of. That'd be uncomfortable. Nope. That would chase people away.
What's happening?
You invited me. No, you didn't.
No. That's
No. Right.
You kicked the door and said, "Fuck you."
Right.
Here I am.
Yeah.
I think we figured out what happened to both podcasts.
Yeah, you're like the bougie dad from the Lost Boys.
Yep.
What the fuck is going on?
That's why I make garlic for dinner.
So I didn't like her. I didn't like her energy. And I didn't like the way that she came out.
CEO.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb as fuck.
Michelle hates that too. I will say this.
That's fine. My mind might change one day. I am giving y'all my knee-jerk reactions.
She's a super talented wrestler, and when she was in WWE for a long time, she's very talented, I feel. But I think she's been a little flat in AEW because she's not used to how they do things there. When she was in WWE, all her shit was super scripted because that's how they do it. And AEW gives you points and says, go hit these.
So I think that might be a part of why I didn't like it was because it felt exactly. She felt like an animatronic version of trying to be this like boss bitch.
Yes.
Well, that was her gimmick.
Right.
In WWE was the legit boss.
Yeah.
Sure.
And now she's the CEO.
She's doing the same thing, which is fine, whatever. she's also just kind of trying to just get back into the WWE. But Mercedes is interesting to me because I was thinking about this week. Is that Mercedes was absolutely needed in AEW. Their women's division was struggling. And she's out hurt for a long time. She got hurt by Willow. She didn't get hurt by Willow. Sorry, that's the angle they're running on TV. Yeah. But she had a match for New Japan with Willow. It was a tournament to crown their first ever women's champion. And
in New Japan?
Yes.
The two of them?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was New Japan Strong, but it's the U.S. version of it, whatever.
Okay.
And she gets hurt mid-match, so they called the audible and had Willow win the title, so Willow becomes the first champ.
Okay.
She's been out since then. It's been...
Over a year?
Over a year. She had a really bad injury. And I think it took longer for her to get back than they thought. And I think when Tony Khan had all these talks with her, and because she's technically still not cleared to wrestle. She's going to be hopefully by the end of the month, or next month. But I think she was desperately needed for this division when the talks started. But by the time she was healthy enough to start traveling and appearing on TV, I think the AEW women's division's catching on a little bit. And she's suffering from that because I think the fandom has finally started to pick some hardcore favorites in that division.
I could see that.
And she is going to have a harder time then because she's going to look like a WWE talent in front of a crowd that is sort of WWE hostile.
Right.
Depending on the city at times.
Yeah.
I still think she's talented. I just think she needs to figure out how to do things a different way. And maybe she's not comfortable with that. When she gets in the ring, hopefully she's still got it and is as good as she was. Her finish fucking stinks, but that's different. That's whatever.
True.
But she's a talented wrestler.
Anything about her
That's
finish.
fine.
I don't know anything
She's a
about
talented
anything.
wrestler.
All I know is that it didn't feel right here.
She is having a bit of a hard time transitioning styles.
Okay.
Yeah, and
that makes sense then.
This is not the place to explain to you Southern wrestling versus Northern wrestling, but there is a difference. And AEW does one, and WWE does the other one. Yes,
we'll learn.
We'll show you. We'll watch some Tracy Smothers. You'll understand real quick.
Double mega homicide. Everybody dies.
Okay, so now let's go back to
the House of
Black.
Yes,
House of Black versus Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, and Eddie Kingston.
Yeah,
this is an example of a guy who is catching on incredibly well in this system in Edge.
Yeah,
Adam Copeland.
The Copester. He
just came over from WWE. He's a WWE Hall of Famer, had a neck injury, had to retire early, got cleared. He's almost 50.
Yeah.
And WWE was like, we don't really have anything for you. And he's like, okay, well, then I don't want to just sit here. I'm going to go wrestle. And left. And he's doing a great job.
Which one was he?
He was like the old guy.
Yeah. He's the blonde guy with the long pants.
Wait, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Eddie Kingston is the guy with the yellow and black with the belly.
Yep.
And Mark Briscoe is the bald guy missing the teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chicken.
Adam Copeland was this one. Okay.
He used to be Edge.
Edge, right.
Yes.
Okay.
He's doing a great job fitting here. This is the most I've ever liked him.
And he was the one that most looked like he belonged on House of Black.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
like we said, there was both teams. Two guys are full of tattoos, and then their partner just has none.
Yeah, right.
Kingston has none.
Kingston has everything. Yeah.
Buddy Matthews has none.
Yeah. And Eddie and Buddy are in such similar physical conditions.
Well, very true. Yes.
Eddie looks good. Eddie's been working out. Eddie always looks good. I like a fat. Not that Eddie's fat, but I like a wrestler that looks like he's going to survive a car crash.
Is Julia part of House of Black?
Yeah. She's their manager.
She's the witch.
Yes, right. Yeah, she was a cheerleader who got misted in the face and turned evil.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's gotten so much better. She usually accompanies Brody King, the big guy with the beard and the demon tattoo on his belly.
Yep.
She's mostly accompanies him solo, but she's with the whole group.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Got it. Yeah, so how did you guys feel about this match?
Thought it was decent.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
Didn't blow me away or anything.
No,
it was pretty good.
It's fun. These guys can all do what they're doing. I love Eddie and Brody King interacting. I loved it in the Continental Classic. I love it here. I love the big guys running up against each other. Eddie Kingston is one of our favorites. Eddie's another not local guy, but another Chikara guy. So we've seen him a bunch in small venues. Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
I love Eddie Kingston.
Chikara was like Allentown-ish area, right?
Yep.
So
that's
based out of Philly.
Yeah,
right?
Philly.
Philly.
Yeah, Allentown, then Philly.
Yeah, they did Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So local-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But so like we love Eddie. Eddie's one of our favorites on the roster. Eddie's one of the best wrestlers.
Eddie once called DJ a scumbag.
That's true. He did.
Love it.
Yeah, he actually came down in town when we went to one of the shows, and he was brought in as the meet and greet. And Joe of Sumium Network.
Yep.
It's no surprise. Joe knows him. They've been friends for a long time. They worked in Chicago together, traveled the roads. We were in line for the meet and greet, and Joe was up talking to Eddie, and he whispered something to Eddie, and then looked back at me, and I was like, oh no, because I've known Joe for 20 plus years.
Right.
And Eddie Kingston, in front of a full rapping line of people, said, which one of you is fucking DJ? And I was like, that's me. He goes, I heard you're a real scumbag. And then I got up there and I handed him the action figure I wanted him to sign. He's like, I'm not fucking signing that for you. And I was like, oh, Joe. He did, though, and he was a great guy. But
And then I talked to Eddie about AFI.
Yeah.
Because he loves them and
Yep.
makes me happy.
Aww.
And I talked to Eddie about Audrey Kong because we love her and she makes me happy.
There you go.
Eddie's really cool. Eddie's a great fucking wrestler. Everybody in this match is actually really good. This is the most I've ever liked Edge. Mark Briscoe is a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah.
He
it was good.
yeah, he's got a tragic story from the last couple of years, but he's really doing good on TV, and he is another guy that I've seen on the indies and sort of watched wrestle for years. He started when he was 17.
South Delaware
Oh, wow.
Super Duper model.
Okay.
He's very talented. He actually just beat Eddie for the title that he held. Eddie had 3 titles. Okada beat him for 1, Mark beat him for the other, and Eddie still has the 3rd.
Okay.
But yeah, and the House of Black is really good. Lots of rumors those guys want to go back to WWE, which is kind of where they came from. Not Brody, but the other 2. And Buddy Matthews, the non-tattooed jacked one in House of Black, is with Rhea Ripley from the WWE. They are a couple. Yeah.
All right.
So.
I have a funny moment from this match.
Okay.
My child came home from songwriting with his friend and walked in, and he was like, "Are we serious? Are you seriously doing this?" And
he's too cool for wrestling.
He's too cool. Well, he's just shocked at me.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't think he actually cares either way. He's just shocked at me watching wrestling, especially home by myself.
Makes me so happy.
I know, you were so thrilled. But everybody in the House of Black kind of looks very similar to each other, right?
Sure.
And
except for Buddy, who has no tattoos.
my ex, who helped me raise Gavin for so many years, his name was Toby. He was tattooed, bearded, dressed in all black, whatever. And my kid walks through the door. He goes, "Are you seriously watching wrestling by yourself?" And then he looks at the TV and he goes, "What the hell is this? The multiverse of Toby?"
That's funny.
I love it.
I like it. All right.
That's perfect.
That was my favorite moment of the night.
Well, and Brody King, also lead singer of the band God's Hate. Yes. So a hardcore band. So there you go. He's a very big, scary man, and I love him, and I hope he never leaves, because I'll be sad.
Never. He's awesome.
Yes.
Turning the page on my notes.
Yeah, what do you got next?
Okay, your notes align with mine.
Roddy versus Kyle O'Reilly.
See, Roddy.
Cool Kyle.
Fucking knows it's Roddy.
Cool
Yes,
Kyle.
Roderick Strong versus Cool Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes.
I
They
feel
used to be
like
besties.
They used to be besties. See?
In WWE, absolutely.
Yeah, they were besties in WWE. And, well, Ring of Honor before.
Kyle's been dealing with an injury. If you look really close, his one arm is much smaller than the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he lost use of it for a little while from a nerve.
Yeah.
Right, so he had like atrophy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could really see it, and it freaks me out.
Yeah.
But I love Kyle O'Reilly.
Yep, Cool Kyle.
He is one of my favorites. I love Roderick Strong.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I like this match a bit more than like everybody in the house did.
I thought it was
don't know
really
why. I was like really into it
Yeah.
for some reason.
I mean, this match, it was very good. Obviously, these guys can wrestle. They wrestle a style. They know how to work one another.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit, some of the lightest heat of the night is on this match. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
and
it's not a fully developed program yet.
I think
This
it
was the kickoff, it seems.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I think it was Joe that said like this could have headlined a Collision. Like,
Yeah,
this could
I
have been
think
main
so,
event
too.
on a Collision.
Yeah.
Which I
Right.
agree. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to complain about these two working each other.
Right, no, it was great.
The ending was fucking weird.
What was the ending?
Wardlow gets in the ring and then gets
Oh, yeah,
told
like
to
leaves. Well,
get out
Wardlow
of the
doesn't
ring,
know.
kind
Yeah.
of leaves, and then
What-
Roddy just beats Kyle clean anyway.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, was this the
Weird.
one where like people kept trying to get in or like walking up?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
Wardlow. But yeah, Roddy wins, and then Adam Cole gets wheeled out,
Oh, right.
and he stands up. Like
It's a miracle.
Stands up like he's fucking Jesus Christ.
That's right.
And, just walks down.
That's
to
my
the
favorite
ramp.
part of the Bible, when Jesus stood up out of the wheelchair.
Yeah, everybody knows that part,
Yeah,
right?
it's a great part.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Philippians 42-3.
Absolutely, yes.
Sure. But yeah, so Adam Cole, he like walks to the ring and they're celebrating, but he kind of shoots Wardlow a look.
Yes.
Like, hey, fucker, you're going to get kicked out, I guess.
Right.
That's going to happen eventually.
I guess so.
But I love Kyle O'Reilly.
I love Kyle. Kyle's a ton of fun to watch. He's
I'm real
he's
happy
a very
he's back
smooth
on my
wrestler.
television because I like that guy a lot.
We've been waiting a long time. He's also a diabetic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he also has I think he's born diabetes, so like type 1.
Right.
So it's also another real struggle that he's had as a wrestler. And a lot of times he comes out on TV and he has this little monitor thing, the little button, and people are like, "Oh, what's that on his arm?" It's like he's fucking like he's actual bad diabetic. So
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Which was with his recovery makes it harder because diabetes complicates fucking everything.
Yeah.
So
Hook versus Chris Jericho.
Okay, so
that's the right opinion. I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you the opposite question I asked you about the opening match, but go ahead.
So
at this moment, this is when Brett texted me and he was like, "You can skip this one."
Yeah, I said, "Go smoke a cigarette."
Go smoke a cigarette, or make yourself a whole ass lasagna.
This is absolutely the piss break match on this show. When you go to live wrestling, you got to plan your piss breaks out, and this is you pick the worst match. This is absolutely the one that you would go get your popcorn, take a pee. Yeah, maybe stand in the alcove for no reason for 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Run
into Kenny.
Yeah, run
into
Kenny.
Shout out Kenny.
As this first came in, and it was kind of apparent that this was like a mentor mentee turned sour relationship kind of deal.
God, that's what they were trying to do, correct? Yeah.
That's what they were trying to
Yeah.
whatever.
It's not as long term happening as you would think. But yeah, that's what they're getting across. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You're reading that right.
Okay, and then I texted Brett, judging by this kid's tattoos, he's Gen Z.
Yep, which I said you're spot on. Like
he said you're spot on. He's like 24, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing in the ring with a 54-year-old?
The question should be flipped. What is Chris Jericho doing in a ring with anybody? At this point,
right? Okay, and then I had other questions about Jericho. Should I talk about them?
Of course.
Absolutely.
You can say whatever you want.
I want to hear them.
I said...
Where was his wife January 6th?
Yeah, was that one of your questions?
That wasn't one of them. Okay.
That wasn't your question?
No, that wasn't.
Okay. Oh.
But, I mean...
You want to put it together?
That is... no, I do know where she... because we've talked about this before.
Yes.
Because sometimes after we record Wings on Wings, we watch Joe Bob Briggs.
That's true.
And
yep.
So I asked if this was if this was associated with that with somebody on that, and he said yes. And I was like, wow, I kind of like thought that she was fun and had a little respect, and now I like it. It makes me very sad.
She bums me out.
Darcy. Diana, call me.
Yeah.
She was almost going to be on this podcast.
Yeah, I did know that.
Many moons ago,
and then she started her own. She got a little too famous to talk to me anymore and email me back. But yeah, she was going to very early days. Now she has her own wrestling podcast, so
that's great.
That I've never listened to.
Nope.
Lovely for her. Maybe I'll weasel my way into being a guest on hers.
Just say, "What are you doing, girl?"
And exactly, and then I'll just come in.
What is you doing?
All Diane Sawyer on her, So tell me, why do you make these life choices? Yeah. Anyway, okay, so Hook versus Jericho.
Yes.
Hook versus Jericho. Why did this happen?
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't answer that.
It's not.
I can answer so many questions, but I can't answer that one.
It's just not good. Like the crowd literally chanting, "Please retire."
Yeah. Oh, I can answer. I can answer
Jericho.
that because Jericho forces his way onto everything because he's in a lot of ways still the biggest, most well-known star that they have.
Yeah.
He's part of the reason why the company got off the ground. Without Chris Jericho, we don't have AEW. The fact that they were able to pull him away from the WWE is a huge deal. Was a huge deal 5 years ago.
Yeah. It's been 5 years.
So, but
as it ever.
As we are all people who are not in our 50s.
Correct.
And aging in our fields or our like interests or whatever, you know, you're not going to stand in the front of a pit at a hardcore show, right? And be like, young kids get the fuck away. I've got this and you don't know what you're doing or whatever. And you're
for the youngs.
And you're not going to not allow new things to come in or whatever,
yeah,
right?
You're 100%
Me
correct.
In my career, I think
that's my career is hardcore shows.
Yeah, that's your show.
That's what you do.
That's my career.
Mr. Hardcore over there.
No, but like me in my thing, like I'm always looking to what is new coming in, whatever, and you have to respect and make way for people to come in and make change. If not, you are holding on to something.
You're gatekeeping.
You're gatekeeping, but you're also trying to hold on to a piece of something that is literally only ego fed. 100%. And so that's exactly how I'm feeling about Jericho. Is he's a fucking cunt, and this was an unnecessary match.
When it got put on the pay-per-view, a lot of people were like, why did this need to get put on the pay-per-view?
You have wildly good wrestling instincts. It's really remarkable.
This kid seems like he's going to be good.
He's a judo master.
Is he a judo master? That's great.
Well, I know the master,
Taz.
but he's,
his dad is Taz?
Yeah, Taz is his dad.
Oh,
His name is Hook because they're from Red Hook, New Jersey.
Oh.
New York, but that's...
Or New York? Is it New York?
No.
The Red Hook section of Brooklyn, New York.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
What the hell isn't there a...
I thought he was just a big fan of the movie with Rufio.
I wish.
Yeah.
What if he goes to WWE?
It's Red Bank, New Jersey. That's why
it's Red Bank, New Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Whatever.
Yeah, but no, like this kid looks like he has some good potential and will develop really well. But this,
I hope so, but I don't know.
You never know.
He's young.
He's super young. Yeah, WWE apparently has some interest in him. I think he's backslid a bit. I think not even backslid. I think they've overexposed him a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know any of
that's
this.
Fine. But working with Chris Jericho ain't going to help him as much as Jericho says it's going to. It's not.
No, 100%.
It's not.
100% not.
Yeah.
That is only going. I mean, and maybe this was like a cut ties thing.
No, I don't think it will be.
No, because Hook's going to want that belt back.
Yeah, Hook wants revenge.
Or Taz is going to want that belt back. So that the FTW title is Taz invented that title in the 90s.
Right.
So it's a fake belt in ECW.
It's not a fake belt. It's a real belt out there.
It's a fake belt.
Yeah.
It's fake.
I acknowledge it.
It's not sanctioned by AEW.
Sanctioned by me.
But yeah. So they're definitely not just going to let Jericho have that belt.
No.
Jericho's going to have a long, drawn-out program, and then he's going to have a rematch with Hook where he's going to fuck up the finish, but Hook is going to win.
So at the end of that match, do you remember what I texted you?
I don't.
Why did Jericho stop jumping for stuff? Why was he so sleepy halfway through?
Fucking hate it. Mm-hmm. At the end, when he officially won, I texted you immediately. I now hate this man more than I hate Gwyneth Paltrow.
That's right. Yes, that is true.
Wow, Chris Jericho putting gems up his scooter.
It's called a yoni egg.
There you go. That's what Gwyneth Paltrow used to do.
Yeah.
You get a little jade egg and you just jam it up there for good vibes.
Just a little jade egg, eh?
All right, let's move on.
Pretty sure that's how it works.
From this stupid fucker. Who do you have next? Is it the same as I do?
What do you have?
Thunder Rosa.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Thunder Rosa.
Ponderosa.
Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, Thunder Rosa versus Tony Storm.
Yes, timeless Tony Storm.
Match was okay again.
Yeah.
I love.
I think we've seen.
I love Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Tony Storm's the best. I love
Storm.
everything that she does.
We've seen Rosa's ceiling. This is about it.
Yeah, Rosa's just kind of is what it is at this point.
I like Rosa just fine.
But I fucking love Tony Storm.
Tony Storm rules.
She is the actual coolest. I love everything that she does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So since I've never seen either of them before.
You were having a lot of questions.
I was having so many questions.
Yeah.
Did they go black and white for Tony Storm on the
They
pay-per-view?
went black and white. I was so
Did they do the split? Did they do the split screen or no?
No, they only did when Tony went to do the running ass to the face.
Oh, okay.
They did when she poses in the corner.
Yeah.
They went black and white on that.
Yeah.
On regular TV, if she has a promo with somebody, they split the screen so her side is black and white and the other side is in color.
Oh, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think we kind of talked about this. I was like, a knee-jerk reaction coming in, watching both of their promos separately. As someone who's been obsessed with Mexican culture and art since I was like 10 years old,
Yes.
and Dia de Muertos being my favorite holiday since I was like 10 years old, and having candy skull tattoos, like I wanted so badly to want to root for Thunder Rosa, but there was something that just wasn't there.
Yeah.
I wasn't. And
There is. I like Rosa just fine. I think Rosa's a
it was
talented
fine.
wrestler.
There was nothing that made me feel like I don't like her.
But she is very. There's just something that's not there. Is a very good way to describe Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, there was something that was just not there. It was like something in the energy was like all makeup, not the performance or whatever.
She's a pretty talented wrestler. She's coming back off of a pretty bad back injury. She's been out for a little while. Well, was out for a little while. She's been back for a bit
now.
But she's got a bad back. She's held the title. I think I think she certainly is a believable champion.
Sure.
But and this is a problem that AEW is having a little bit across the board, is put across the ring from Toni Storm is near impossible to overcome.
And I think that's so then I'm watching Toni Storm's promo and I'm like, what is this? This is amazing.
Yeah.
I was enamored.
Yeah.
Actually.
What promo was it? I don't remember.
Well, I know it was like, I think it was just like, was it just her entrance, her coming out, or?
I don't know. It was something. No, it was like in the break right before they were.
Oh,
they
the
showed,
promo
like,
recap video, like the recap of the feud. Yeah.
Did it show with the lipstick smeared all over her face?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that was awesome.
So that was awesome. So Rosa did that to her on TV the week before. And my favorite thing, and Michelle loved it too, is that Rosa grabs Toni Storm, takes out a thing of lipstick, and smears it all over her face. And while she's doing it, Tony Schiavone on commentary says, "That's not even her color."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's so perfect.
Hilarious.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah,
right.
It's so perfect.
It was a perfect call, and it added a lot to this feud. It is just very hard. Toni Storm is on this run for a while, and it's going to be very hard to find someone that the fans will get behind beating her. It's super tough.
Yeah.
I thought that she was really good. I loved her character.
Amazing.
I love that she thinks that she's a Hollywood star from the 60s.
Yep.
She's done turn classic movies with Ben Mankiewicz.
I love that.
Yeah, like they've incorporated so much. It's really great.
I love her moves. I love her shape. I love her costuming. I love
Shape. That's a great word for it. That's what I was thinking too, but I wasn't going to say shape.
Yeah. I mean, I
was going to say butt. I like her butt. She's got a good butt.
she's got a great ass.
She does. She's got a great ass. So does Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, sure. But there's just something about the way those booty shorts hit
Yes, right.
Toni Storm.
Amen, sister.
Amen.
You
You're
know,
saying that. Not
Well,
me.
you've just become Adam's favorite podcaster ever now.
I'm allowed.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to say this.
Yeah,
right?
are you free every
Yeah.
Thursday? Because this is what's going to happen.
No, seriously.
Done listening to our stupid asses.
No, I mean, and outside of that, I thought that she was very good. But this is somebody that I'll follow.
Fully
Like,
committed to her character.
I love to hear
Super
that.
talented in
Love
ring.
it.
And then you'll see that Mariah May, who's like her second,
Yes.
on TV, is coming out when
Wait,
she
I
wrestles.
saw something about her, right? Did
I
she?
don't know. Did you?
I don't know. But on TV, she dresses like Toni Storm before this character.
Yeah.
And they're doing like an All About Eve thing with them.
Yes.
So they're trying to build Mariah May up as her friend, who's eventually going to, who was impersonating her and obsessed with her. And then they're going to turn and have Mariah May beat Toni Storm, hopefully. Maybe, kind of.
That is indeed Mariah May on your phone right now.
Is it with Mina Shirakawa?
No, it's just Mariah May.
Yeah, Mariah May. Yep. Very talented, very pretty lady.
Yep.
I mean, I can see where that's going to turn. It's going to be like a very Playboy version of it, where Tony has the old Hollywood actual.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference.
Sure.
I'll follow it.
I'm happy you're invested.
Tony rules.
That makes
Tony
me happy.
Tony is
Yeah.
Tony is a a long-standing favorite. Even before this, we really liked her. She's married to Juice Robinson, who you don't know, but that's great.
Wait till you
Or
get
she's with
introduced
Juice
to
Robinson.
Juice
Wait till you see Juice if he ever comes back.
Oh my.
Juice Robinson used to be known as the Fundertaker.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh, just wait.
But Tony rules.
Yeah, Tony's fucking awesome.
So
I would like to announce the next.
Have at it.
baby. All right, we're in the home stretch. Last three.
This was one of my favorites. This was Panties versus Glitter Pants.
Okay, correct. I hope neither of those stick, but okay. See what happens.
It took me halfway in to figure out.
Yeah, that's also what people call Brett and I. So it's really interesting.
That's true.
Yeah, who's who?
I won't know. You'll have to figure that out for yourself.
Okay.
One day you'll find out, and you'll never forget.
Listeners, this week on We Need Wrestling's Instagram, if you could please engage and vote on who is Panties and who is Glitter
We
Pants.
have one. We just don't do anything with it.
About that.
Yeah, it's out there.
All right.
You can also message me at Wings on Wings.
Oh, Jesus.
You want to just give Dave the password? She can manage it
Right.
too. Now you have enough on your fucking.
Okay,
plate.
so Panties, Brian Danielson
Yes,
versus
the American
Glitter
Dragon.
Pants, Will Ospreay.
Absolutely. So this is built
Correct.
up as like a dream match because it is a dream match.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of explained to you like through text like Brian Danielson is considered one of the best ever.
Yes.
Yes.
And Will Ospreay
Certainly the
is-
best of his generation.
Will Ospreay is considered the best like right now.
The up and coming, yeah. He's the next best, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's the new generation. A lot of people considered this was going to be like sort of a handoff match.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's hard with these matches sometimes because dream match gets thrown around. It's like a buzzword lately over the last couple of years. And oftentimes it doesn't live up to the hype.
right.
I think this exceeded the hype.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the hype was.
So
I did
this
not
was-
prepare. Like I came into this raw. Like,
So this was definitely like a holy shit! I can't believe we're getting Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay.
Yeah. So Danielson was a WWE guy, WWE champion, another guy with an injury that was supposed to end his career, but he's been in the business for over 20 years now and is widely considered, of the last 20 years, the best wrestler. In-ring competitor,
Yeah.
like dude that does everything the right way. He is the quintessential guy, like when we were sitting during that first match, where like the ability to get you to suspend disbelief, to make sure he's not standing around, to make sure everything he does has a purpose. He's the best guy at that of the last 20 years.
Okay.
So he was in a company before he went to WWE called Ring of Honor.
Yes.
And
I've heard of
they were
that.
like a super indie almost.
yeah.
Honestly, if he never went to WWE and he retired in Ring of Honor, I'd say this is one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen.
Right. He's
Okay.
been
Like,
that good for that long.
Yeah, like since the beginning, he's been that.
And
fucking good.
he sort of came over because WWE again was like, well, we're kind of done. We don't want you working that hard and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So he came to AEW and it's a
he told
huge gap.
Vince, "I want to bleed."
Right. And Will Ospreay is a younger guy in New Japan, the UK, and was sort of the hottest free agent outside of Okada. Well, Okada was the most surprising free agent, really.
Yes.
But AEW wins the bidding war for Ospreay. WWE wanted him, and now WWE's bitter they didn't get him.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, he's not that good. That's what they say now, like on their internet. Oh, he's
Right.
not great. Whatever. He doesn't want the grind.
Yeah, he's afraid
but
of the
Ospreay
grind.
is very much a guy that has evolved and has grown into himself and is very much the thing that people consider being like, this is the next guy up. This is your next biggest star in wrestling. Like, he is young enough that he is going to take over. He is
Ospreay.
Yeah, Ospreay
Yes.
is the flashiest wrestler right now, I think, and is going to be the guy that everyone is watching to become, if he's not already, the best guy out there.
And he's telling you that that's what's going to happen by wearing glitter pants.
Exactly. You have to listen. If you're gonna wear glitter pants, you
Yeah.
gotta be able to fucking back it up.
You better be able to back it up.
Absolutely.
He's like, I'm not stepping.
Were they
into this ring with just
Masawa
panties.
throwbacks? I know he wears them sometimes,
no,
but I
they
don't
weren't
remember.
Masawa.
No.
But yeah, I just was absolutely in love with this match.
Yeah,
I was as well.
Yeah.
I have so many notes on this because we were going back and forth.
Yeah.
Like,
The interesting thing about this match too is, and I don't know what you guys said because apparently you guys don't want to talk to me during wrestling, but
I was with you.
I know.
which is why I was only texting him, so it wasn't an annoying
I know,
group text.
I'm only teasing. So this is funny for you to watch this because like this has become widely regarded as the best wrestling match possibly ever, if not of the last.
What does this text message say, Brett?
If it were all like this, I would have been a fan forever.
Right. So it is that good, and it is the two best guys. While we were sitting here, it's the silliest thing, but like I got really excited because there was a part where Ospreay was doing his back handspring, and Dragon's supposed to wait for him to get hit. And instead of standing there, Dragon took a step forward and dipped his shoulder into Ospreay. And I'm like, that's how you fucking do it, because you have to make everything look purposeful. Why would you stand and wait? Why would you watch a guy do a backflip towards you and go, well, I don't know what he's going to do?
Right.
So Dragon does just this little thing so perfectly.
Yeah.
He's so good at that. And, you know,
and
Ospreay
I think that's what I loved.
backflips and stuff.
Yeah.
Ospreay's definitely more athletic. Like, he does the big flashy. Dragon was never that flashy of a guy.
No.
He's more of a, I'm going to grind the shit out of you kind of guy.
Yeah.
In both ways. The thing is that's really funny about this for me is that you watch the show. It's the first pay-per-view you've ever been invested in, and you got, like, potentially 2 match of the year contenders on one show.
Right.
It's not always like that. AEW's pay-per-views always deliver. So they always have really great matches. But like you're probably not going to see the match like this again for a long time.
It was so good. I'm just looking through this. I'm like, a fucking fish hook?
Yeah.
How are they alive? And now they're headbutting and slapping. I'm like, nobody is alive. Holy shit, to the jaw.
Yeah.
That's what the messages looked like.
The holy shit to the jaw was definitely when Ospreay went for the Os Cutter and Brian
took the
hits
knee.
with the psycho knee. It was fucking crazy.
It was great. Standing room in the compound here.
Yeah, losing our minds here.
All of us very known. Like if you were here, you're like, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
This is. I don't see anything being able to surpass this as match of the year.
So it's tough.
It's gonna be tough.
We're it's gonna be the end of May or end of April next week.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't.
It's gonna be tough.
I don't see it.
And like the thing is if this match isn't on the card, I'm like, oh, we got a 5-star out of Okada and Pac. That's fucking crazy. That's gonna be on my match of the year list.
You know how? So last year Ospreay really had like a career year. Mm-hmm. This year I'm looking at it on paper and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, he's doing it again.
They're booking.
They're actually pulling it off again.
Right, and Tony Khan seemingly right now is like, we're only gonna let you have fucking killers. Like we're not wasting you. You're having banger after banger after banger because they paid a lot for him,
right?
And because he I think could potentially turn the tide. I think Ospreay's also one of those guys, and Dragon's the same way. And you also don't get this a lot. You'll see wrestlers wrestle on TV, and they have perfectly good matches.
Right.
But they're on TV, and they're like, okay, we're going to take a night off. We're not going to do all this crazy shit. We're going to slow it down. We're going to back off because the pay-per-views typically do have the bigger matches.
Right.
But Dragon and now seemingly Dragon being Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I know. Panties.
Yeah, and Ospreay seemingly don't have that mode.
Yeah, they don't slow down.
They don't have Moxley doesn't have that mode.
No. You can't tell those guys to slow the fuck down.
This is what they love doing. This is what they live and breathe to do. So they feel every time they're in that ring, whether it's in front of 50 people or 50,000 people, this is what they want to do.
Yeah.
And they give it to you. And it's wild. And so we talk about this all the time, but like I used to see Bryan Danielson 20 years ago wrestle in Philadelphia in a basketball court.
Oh, wow.
In the early 2000s was when he sort of debuted. He's trained by Shawn Michaels, which is really crazy. But he started in Ring of Honor, and I used to go with Joe and all those guys, and we used to see him wrestle all the time. And he very quickly, 20 years ago, became my favorite. I watched him. I was like, this is like the best dude I've ever seen. This is 20 years ago, and he's only gotten better. And he really is one of, if not the best of all time in ring. He's also a very good promo, but you have to specify in ring because he's not the best promo.
Right.
His promos are very good. He's not the best promo of all time. When I say he's not the best promo, it makes it sound like I'm shitting him. He's a very good promo, but in ring,
this little girl can't fuck me up.
he is just about unbeatable. Yeah, he is remarkable.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah,
I went back, I watched it again.
Yeah, it's match of the year.
I don't see anything topping this.
It was my favorite. It was definitely my favorite.
Between this, Ospreay Takeshita from a couple months ago,
it's very good.
Danielson Zack Sabre Jr., Danielson Okada. It's like, these two, man, they just set the fucking pace.
Absolutely.
It's just, good luck.
Right.
Honestly,
right.
Good fucking luck.
All right. Anything else, Ospreay Danielson, before we move on? Tatum, you're good?
I'm good.
So who'd you like better? Ooh, that's a good question. Who'd you like better? Who'd you like better?
Oh, that was so tough. I feel like I liked them for different reasons.
Okay, it's a good answer.
Let me tell you. Let me try and sway you one way or the other. Will Ospreay is from the UK and says "bruv" a lot.
Than him.
And one of the one of the deciding factors of him going to AEW is that he's still living in London and flying over because he has a wife who has a young son, and he didn't want to leave them to be on the road all the time. So Tony Khan is letting him stay in London. He's just flying over every week to wrestle.
Yeah.
Which was a thing that WWE didn't want him to do.
Also support that.
And Bryan Danielson is from the Pacific Northwest, and when he was champion of the WWE, he was a bad guy, and his gimmick was that he was like Earth's warrior, and he made them take their championship belt and get rid of the leather, and they got a natural belt. It was all natural gemstones and rocks and no leather, and he wore it was like this tan belt with like sapphires on it and stuff, and it looked just like the regular belt, but he made them get rid of the belt and give him a complete vegan Nature's Warrior belt as a bad guy.
I love that.
It's amazing.
That's such an underrated run.
It's amazing.
Man.
Yeah.
It's so perfect. Oh, he was
Do
so
we
great.
think he's invested in viewfinder porn?
Oh boy, that's a crossover.
It is.
Oh, Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
He's married to one of the Bella
Portland.
twins.
Yeah, he is bringing on the belts.
Yeah. So.
All right.
What a
Well,
man.
I mean, I love me a moody Brit, and if you're supporting your family, love that even
All right,
more.
look at-
Okay.
all right, 2 for the Brits.
Danielson gets hurt at the end. We should talk about that really quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
From the
yeah.
Storm Driver. Tatum, I don't know how you feel about this, but it's not real. He's since announced that he's no longer going to be doing the move.
I said, wait, is he alive?
Yeah.
The slow-mo exposed it as being super safe.
Selling, brother.
I don't know if Dragon wanted some time off or whatever, but he's not actually hurt. But it does work to do the gimmick where he's like, I'm not going to do it anymore and blah, blah, blah. I'm assuming that's going to lead to like more butting heads with Don Callis and stuff. But this technically Ospreay is aligned in the bad guy group right now in AEW, but that'll change.
It's going to change.
That'll definitely change.
So next we have in the co-main
Yes.
ladder match for the tag titles.
What a rough spot to be in.
Ladder match, that's right.
Young
I was
Bucks versus FTR.
Fourth time.
Tell you what, man, I thought this was fucking
It was really
awesome.
good, right? This is the toughest spot on the
really
card.
did.
Typically, this is a bit of a piss break match too by design because you want to get people back in their seats before the main event. But I think they delivered. I thought they were in an impossible hole following what is going to be match of the year.
Yeah.
And two guys in the Bucks that I don't really like.
Yeah.
I thought they over delivered in this match.
The match was awesome.
I thought they over delivered too. I think
Yeah.
you had messaged me like this match has little interest, and the next message was so much blood.
Yeah.
From me.
So bald FTR decided to run the razor because he loves this
You got a
goddamn
leaker.
business.
Absolutely. Gusher even.
Yeah. So
Does the blood
good
bother
on
you?
him.
No, and actually we had this conversation.
You did, yeah.
He was like a death match or death matches might still be too much for you.
Probably.
But my sister Priya is a Muay Thai fighter.
Okay.
And so I've gone to her matches and
And that's real. That's knees and elbows.
Yep.
and
for
I
those who
do
don't know.
stream them.
Okay.
But
8 points.
I have the last match of hers that I went to. I got Gavin and I ringside seats, and we ended up with blood on us. Nice. So, like I can watch it. It's painful, but I can watch it. So I don't think a death match would be too much for me.
It would.
I don't know.
How do you feel about people getting hit with weed whackers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's excessive.
Wait, like that.
Yeah.
That happened like once.
Yeah, so like it depends on the level of deathmatch, and it's evolved over time.
Right.
But like a very typical thing, light tubes. They smash light tubes over each other so they get cut with glass.
Yeah.
Light tubes, barbed wire.
Gussets.
I might not love that. I mean, it's
They get a
Might be
gusset
much
plate
for you.
and put that on a board and then throw people onto the gussets.
I mean, Muay Thai is wildly violent,
Yes.
and
Yes, very
and
violent. I love
somebody
Muay Thai.
bleeds in like almost every
Yes. Yeah.
match. And shout out Priya Sinha, she
There you go.
is fucking
Shout out Priya.
so
Yes.
tough. And I love her, but I don't know if I could deal with the extra gratuitous violence of
That's why I said I don't
Right, and
know
so
if you're-
and they take like the wrestling side of it kind of leaves. You're not going to see a lot of moves and storytelling. It's just who can basically brutalize the other person more. So they also do skewers. They'll take skewers, put them on somebody's head, tap them in, so when they let go, they fan out, but they stick in there.
no, don't love that.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. People have
I'm
gotten
not sleeping
very
tonight.
people have gotten very seriously hurt.
I love it so
Yeah,
much.
people they'll needles through cheeks,
So,
glass,
so
regular glass, light tubes, thumbtacks, nail
Light
boards.
tubes, I feel like, are worse than regular glass. That's
tough.
little bitches.
So
Yeah.
Doug and I fancy ourselves going to a deathmatch tournament.
Yeah, you guys are ghouls.
We are ghouls. That is what fans of death matches are ghouls.
I have a hard time. I have my limits in death matches.
Yeah, I think
I have
I
a
would
hard
as
I
well.
don't. I love it.
You do. You're a ghoul.
Yeah, I
So-
fucking love death matches so much. Especially when people are getting hit with light tubes and the light tubes fly in the crowd, and you get hit in the dick with a piece of the light tube.
Yeah.
And it's real funny. Shout out,
you
Doug.
go.
I love you so
So
much. buddy.
this is a long way around, I think, to say I don't know that I could handle death matches, but DJ, I am okay with some blood. I between my sister and just being a mom.
Red equals green in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
The more you bleed, the more money you
right.
make, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I thought this match was really good.
It was very good.
It was good.
You get the reveal at the end where Jack Perry makes the return in the Sting mask,
Correct.
shoves one of the FTR guys off a ladder.
Yes.
When he takes the mask off, he's got that shit-eating grin, which I was like, this is really good.
Which is his new gimmick.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's the scapegoat,
Yep.
brother. But yeah, Young Bucks win. So
Yep. 3-time AEW Tag Title champions.
Yep.
Hopefully they lose it very shortly to the Motor City Machine Guns. God, I hope so.
I hope so too.
See what happens.
Main event.
Not to the Grizzled Young Veterans. God damn it.
Main event.
Main event.
Swerve versus Samoa Joe.
Samoa's Joe.
Okay, and we were on a delay, so that made
Yes.
some miscommunication.
Yeah, there was a little bit because I'm like, wait, how do you not like this person?
Right, and I was like, but I was.
What the hell happened? Did you pause it?
He was like, who are we feeling?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know why I'm not feeling this dude. But I was talking about Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I don't know why,
shame.
but I wasn't like it's just not who I was in on
Okay.
this match.
All right.
Okay.
That's perfectly
You
fine.
were in on Swerve.
Yeah, I get it.
was in on Swerve.
I get it. Samoa Joe is a goddamn legend and an
Yes.
incredible wrestler, but I get it. I see Swerve.
So while the match was happening, I don't know what Joe did. I think maybe like slammed him into the table. Mm-hmm. I think I said out loud, I was like, you know what, guys? Maybe Samoa Joe could win this match, and I'll be all right with it. Because I love Samoa Joe.
This when we talked about this before, like we talked about in last week's episode. I think if Swerve didn't win here, I think AEW had a real problem on their hands.
Yeah.
And I do think that they were a little cooled down from the last. I think they should have done the last pay per view still, but like it's like an 11 or a 12 down to a 10 or a 9.
So does Chris Jericho, apparently.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you saw, there was like that video.
Oh yeah, where he gave like that toast or whatever.
Yeah, and he was just like, I'm happy you won the title. He goes, maybe should have done it 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Swerve fucking rules. So
Yes.
Swerve's been like slowly building as like a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Then this is the guy that WWE released. They were like, we don't see anything.
Yeah.
We don't need you.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he went to AEW, and then when he
Too
was
bad for them.
when he was in AEW, they tried to bring him back. They tried to tamper with his contract,
Yeah.
and he went to Tony Khan and was like, "Hey, they're trying to get me. You might want to get them to stop."
Yeah.
Because I ain't going back. He goes, "They lost me. They lost their opportunity."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
Good for him.
there was a match a couple months ago that was both our favorite match of the year last year.
him versus Hangman in the Texas Death
Yeah,
Match.
and then there was a Texas Death
It's
Match.
it's a death match, but it's not really. It's whatever.
Oh,
Okay.
it's
Well, I mean, it is.
This
It's
match
very
was-
bloody.
This match is brutal.
That was as close to a death, like an actual like death match you'll ever get on any American TV.
Yeah.
Man
It was
made another
brutal.
man bleed into his mouth.
That's
on
true, and then
purpose.
spit it back at him as mist, and then hung him from the ring by a chain. Correct. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Spit
gnarly.
it back at him as mist.
Yes.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
It was.
He literally,
Yeah.
the dude was bleeding, and he was like on all fours, like bleeding, and the blood was running off of his head.
Yeah.
And he slid under him.
Yeah.
And opened his mouth with the blood dripping, and then got up and spit the blood back in his face.
Wait, who did that?
Hangman out of pitch.
Hangman out of
Did
Page.
that to... Okay.
Yeah.
Swerve
Did
was
that to
bleeding.
Swerve?
Yeah. It was one of the gnarliest
It's-
fucking things.
yeah.
When it happened, I started screaming.
It was easily match of the year last year, though.
but-
That's one of the best matches I've ever seen, too, in my life.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's fucking
absolutely. Yeah,
incredible. But very happy for Swerve.
Yes.
Match was good, I thought.
yeah, match was really good.
It was good. There were a couple of moments I said this exposed floor shit is played.
Yes, did not like the floor.
I
the
don't
exposing
like.
of the floor.
I'm
Okay.
done with it. I'm
Okay.
new. I'm new to wrestling,
You're
and
already
I'm
done with it?
already done
Yeah.
with the exposed floor
Okay.
bullshit.
I said
Michelle hates that, too.
I said that was like a big 80s and 90s thing, was the exposed floor.
Yeah, for sure.
They still do it now, obviously.
Yeah, Michelle really hates it, too, though, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I really do. And what it
Boy, but never watch a match where they expose the ring then.
Yeah.
Oh, you and Marcus. That's Marcus's favorite spot.
Yeah.
Oh, loves it so much.
really.
No.
Oh.
He fucking hates it.
Also, I said drink every time they say cardiovascular advantage.
Yes. Swerve had the cardiovascular advantage.
Because Samoa Joe's fat.
yeah,
just
'cause he's
kept
a big old
saying
boy.
that.
They said it a lot.
I don't know
come
that that's
the fuck
actually true,
on.
though.
It's,
I agree.
Yeah.
it's not. That's not. It's,
Samoans are different.
They're just built different.
Samoans are built different.
well, and also, it doesn't.
Well, right. It doesn't matter.
It's not necessarily correlated.
Correct.
But yeah, I did love this match. I thought it was great.
It was very, very good.
Yeah.
I like Swerve. I think I'll probably follow Swerve as well.
Swerve is
Yeah.
incredibly cool. Everything he does is cool. Everything he does is crisp. But he just has this aura about him that we've been waiting for this to happen for a little while. He's been on the come up. He was a bad guy, and the
That's
fans turned him a good guy.
word for it. He has a great aura
Yes,
about him.
absolutely.
Like he really does.
He's going to be a really good ambassador. I think they're talking about that, like sending him to sports shows, sending him he threw out a pitch at baseball.
Oh,
like
fun.
he's really going to be a guy that you can, because he can, he's a good looking dude. He puts out music. Like he's like this. He's a multi-tool player. So he's definitely a really good guy. And like Joe, I love Samoa Joe a lot. You're not going to put Samoa Joe on the local news. You should.
Everywhere.
You should. But Samoa Joe is in Twisted Metal, the TV show, so that's good for him. But yeah, Swerve is a fantastic wrestler. We've been waiting for this. Again, probably should have pulled the trigger in the 3-way, but this is fine getting here. I think he's going to have it for a bit. It looks like maybe they're not going to rush to him, Ospreay. Who knows?
I don't know. I think you're making a mistake there, but I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, Swerve is fucking great. Samoa Joe is an all-timer. I'm glad to see he got a title. He's another guy that WWE let go. They were like, yeah, you can be a commentator. And he's like, I kind of want to wrestle. He came up with Bryan Danielson. They're both like early Ring of Honor guys, so they've known each other for a long, long time. Yeah. Swerve's certainly a special wrestler. And this is the right call here, and I think he's going to have some fucking great fucking matches.
Yeah, man.
Even though they had him
Yeah.
wrestle this Wednesday, why would you have a? Did you see that
That's
shit?
so fucking stupid.
Ooh, why would you have him wrestle and then right after the pay per view, Cody comes out and cuts a promo? Why are you having your black champion wrestle? Fuck you.
Why are we
Bully Ray.
talking about Cody?
Because AEW got criticized this week because Swerve comes out and wrestles on Dynamite.
Yeah.
He puts the title on the line, has a really good match with Kyle Fletcher, and a former wrestler who is on the WWE payroll, but will tell you that he isn't. Said like, why would you have him wrestle on the next show? He should just. Cody doesn't wrestle every week. Why are you just throwing out random title matches?
Why are we
like,
comparing him to Cody? First of all, also I hate Cody.
because Cody came from AEW. That's the right answer. Because Cody helped found AEW. And then left because he backed himself in a corner and the fans turned on him real bad.
Oh, because he's a bitch.
Correct. And so he just became WWE champion. So these idiots like to make these comparisons, even though they're sort of dishonest and unfair, just to try and slant things in WWE's favor. Like AEW doesn't know what they're doing. Then AEW has a lot of areas they don't know what they're doing. But the way they book their wrestling for that in that regard, like on having good TV matches that people want to see, that's not one of their problems.
I think that there's a lot of growth to be had in not knowing what you're doing as well, though, because that's how like change happens.
Right.
That's how new things come about.
Right, but when you have a star and he's your world champion, you put him on your fucking TV and not just the fucking talk. So.
Right, exactly.
Now, I will say,
And wait. I would like to not be finished yet. Wasn't the point of Roman not winning was that they wanted they wanted a champion who was going to be out there and actually be fighting and whatever.
Guess who hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania?
Right.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. How many weeks ago was that?
Listen, I just fucking said it, and I wish I had the sound clip because it was one of my favorite sound clips ever on Final Wrestling Place when this happened. And fucking Marcus, he said it. He goes, no. He goes, this is what you wanted. Mm-hmm. You didn't want the guy to come in who's a big star. You wanted the guy there every week. So then when he's feuding with, I don't know, Bronson Reed or something, this is what you wanted. Mm-hmm.
Right?
And I told him, I was like, that's one of the best things you've ever said. Like, it's kind of true.
That's what it is.
But yeah, I do agree.
Did you find, to wrap up the pay-per-view?
Yes.
Did you find yourself having a hard time getting into the two matches at the end after Danielson and Ospreay? Were you burned out
exhausted?
At all? I wasn't fully exhausted for the first part of the ladder match. I did go outside and have a smoke.
Right, it's tough. Yep.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh my god. Yeah, it was like the post-sex smoke.
It's hard to follow.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It can affect the matches too, because it could be, I think that Swerve Joe was a much better match than people are giving credit for. It's just because of what was on before it, and then you had the Bucks and FTR over deliver. Yeah. And I'm not going to say whether or not I can't necessarily say whether or not I think the ladder match was better than the main event, but the ladder match definitely over delivered from what we all thought. Yeah. So that hurts, and it's tough, but there's no other way to put those matches on that card. Your champion has to be last, especially when you're changing a title.
Right.
So it's tough. If there wasn't a title change happening, I think Dragon Ospreay is main event. Yeah. But there's no other way to do it, and it burns people out. And sometimes it burns a crowd out, and then live the crowd's not as active, and that hurts the match too because it sounds like the crowd's not as into it. So then you're not as into it. So it is a tough thing that you do have to sort of overcome, especially if you're thinking about people in an arena or even sit on your couch. And at this point, you've been watching wrestling for 4 or 5 hours,
right?
When you go to
because it was like midnight at this point.
Yeah, so if you don't watch the pre-show, you just start the pay-per-view. Yeah, it's a 4-hour.
It's 4 hours,
right?
When you go to live shows, when they do the TV tapings, they'll do 2 hours and then another hour. Sometimes it's 3-4 hours. It's tough, especially if they're giving you matches that aren't that great and you got to sit through some stinkers. It gets tough. And then pay-per-views, when you're there and it's all bangers, you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm yelling, I'm up and down, I'm screaming, and we're high-fiving. We're so invested that it's tough to be that way for 4 hours.
Well, and that's also part of I'm happy that we were texting during this and I kind of took some notes and everything because I needed something to jog my memory. Otherwise, I would have had to have rewatched and then got worn out all over again.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. No, you're definitely right.
Yeah, but no, it was great.
So, that's the end of this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on it, Tatum? Notes? What do you give it? What do you grade it? What do you, will you
be tuning in for the next one?
Yeah, you're gonna watch the next one. Are you gonna be watching TV?
Yeah, because now there might be TV commitments that you have to watch.
So at the very end of this, you said your first AEW pay-per-view. I'm proud, and I said I think I'm in.
Yeah, yeah.
Poor Michelle.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Michelle's gonna be so
we
mad.
got her. We got her. Listen, a couple weeks ago, Michelle said, "Tatum, I'm going to save you," and Tatum's response was, "I don't want to be saved." Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got her.
So, good news. There is a podcast you can listen to that runs down everything every week. So if you're not watching, that's true. There is some resources.
You don't have time to watch.
I have started listening to you guys every week.
Instead of watching 2 hours of wrestling, you can listen to us for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's different. You can listen to us when you're doing nothing and driving or whatever, when you're not sitting in front of a TV. But
it's true.
So it'll be interesting to see because this was a very good, A+ pay-per-view. One stinker, which we all knew was going to happen. Willow wasn't great, but I'm not going to say it was a stinker.
Yeah.
It was all right. But the opener to the 6-man to the last 3. Absolutely fantastic. That's what AEW does. Their pay-per-views always fucking deliver.
Yeah.
They really do.
Always.
They fucking crush it. Their in-ring stuff is just, to me, not comparable to WWE. Not that WWE can't do good matches, because they do. You know, Brett really, I didn't watch, but Brett, you really like Gable versus Sami Zayn.
Oh, it's
they have
fucking great.
super talented wrestlers over there. But they don't feature wrestling as much. There's a Twitter account that I always forget to follow, but they put out pie charts of like how much,
time,
what was on each show every week.
Who's that?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I'll have to find it. Next time I see it, I'll send it.
AEW
Yeah.
typically their shows are half to a little more than half in-ring wrestling, whereas WWE shows are 30% or less wrestling.
Right. It's a lot of story.
It's a lot of story, and some people really like that. Some people really want that. Lots of people hate AEW because they don't have those stories. But for me, in-ring is what I like the most. That's me being, a fan of Japanese wrestling and this more southern style of wrestling. So that's what I love, and AEW delivers that stuff. And WWE, for me, gets pushed to the wayside because, not that I don't like a lot of the wrestlers, it's a time thing, and I also sort of know what I'm getting from them, and it's not my thing. I'm not that interested in like that many backstage kind of stuff and storyline in that regard. To quote Bill Goldberg, when he was talking about AEW, WWE is, not that AEW isn't at times, but WWE has some real corny bullshit. So,
yeah.
and I like bleeding.
Love me some blood.
Love me some blood. So
blood and cussing.
Yeah, that's right.
Blood and cussing.
But that was a really fucking good pay-per-view, and
It was awesome.
I'm still sort of astonished by that match. And like universally, like I don't, unless you're like Brother Ray did, what an asshole. Oh, it was just an idiot, but he was like, sometimes you can cheer too much in a match and it hurts it. And it's like, oh yeah, can
right?
you? It's like, how many times am I supposed to say that was cool before it gets old? It's like, yeah, really, pal.
Cool.
That's the best.
Cool.
That's the only knock he can make about that match. Was I cheered too much.
Yeah, how many times can I go, holy shit?
And then he got fucking crushed on the internet about it. And he was
Get
like,
a fucking
learn how to
hobby.
read, idiots. I said it was real good.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. That guy fucking sucks. I brought him up too much on this show. I'm sorry.
Give your balls a
That's
tug,
Brett's
bud.
buddy.
Yeah, that guy fucking stinks.
That's what I appreciate about you, Tatum.
Yeah, is that what you appreciate about me?
That's what I appreciate about you. Where are we going?
Do you want to go to Dynamite?
We can talk Dynamite. That's the follow-up.
Okay.
So we're almost out of here. So Tatum's making this a long episode.
That's all right.
Keeping it here past your bedtime.
I know. You can
know.
you can leave if you want, whenever you want.
I'm in. I'm in for the
all
long
right,
haul.
we'll push through it, because while I thought it was a good Dynamite, they had an hour of audio issues that were
Over an hour, dude. The audio issues were fucking
It was tough.
terrible.
It was tough. It was TBS's fault, apparently.
I guess.
It was tough. Just everything sounded underwater, really hard. The crowd was too loud.
Yeah.
They just had a hard time. And it stinks, because I think they did a lot of fun stuff on here in the beginning. The stuff with OC I thought was good.
Yeah.
With Trent calling him a narcissist and whatever.
Chucky T finally realizing his dream.
Right. So Chucky T gets to say shit on TV, which is a great thing. He's in the member of the Best Friends. They weren't on the pay-per-view. OC didn't wrestle. That's a long time since we've seen a pay-per-view without OC. Yeah. Orange Cassidy's great. I think you'll like him.
Oh, I have a minifigure of him in the
do.
pocket
There you
of
go.
my jean jacket.
You sure do.
I have for years.
The Best Friends have broke up. Trent turned on him and
Okay.
needed Chucky T to pick sides. Chucky T picks the correct side and challenges Trent to a street parking lot,
brawl.
which means that Chucky T's healthy, which is awesome.
Which is good, yeah.
I like Chucky a lot. Poor Sue, gonna have to watch what's she gonna do. Trent's mom drives them to the ring in a minivan.
Oh.
So FTR, quick little backstory. FTR was fighting them one week, and they came out and they drove through the ring in like a vintage pickup truck during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like they were super cool. And the next week, the Best Friends showed up in Trent's mom's minivan.
Yeah. It was great.
It was hilarious. So I like that stuff. We get the parking lot brawl. And the other thing we get the Swerve match. Swerve Kyle Fletcher, which was really good.
Yeah.
But very hard to watch because everything was so fucking loud.
You couldn't fucking hear anything.
You couldn't hear commentary. The only thing you heard was like just the random static or the crowd noise. It was tough. But I thought this match was really good. I like my champion fighting.
I do too, but I also I'm fine with the match, but I do think you should have had a little something for him. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
A little interview, little something.
It's weird that they didn't do an interview. I don't have a problem with them wrestling, but yeah, you didn't have like a coronation in any way.
So Collision this Saturday.
Yeah.
It's airing right after the NBA game.
Okay.
And they're kicking off the show with
Okay.
introducing him as champion.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people feel like, there's going to be a lot of carryover for viewers.
Yeah.
So get your eyes right on the champion.
Do you think they knew about the audio issues and maybe killed it? Probably not, right?
No. Because if they knew about the audio issues, they would have fixed it a lot.
Because the weirdest, I think they were trying to fix it. Because the weirdest thing in this whole thing is this match that happens that the commentary's like, we didn't know this was happening. This weird fucking gauntlet thing.
Yeah.
So we get Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo seemingly starting a program out of Rosa losing to Toni Storm. Deanna's okay. I think she's very quickly it got exposed as not what they
starting
needed.
A program?
They're going to start wrestling each other. They're going to start a storyline together.
Oh, okay.
Program.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anything I say, please do ask.
Yeah, for sure.
We're smart marks, so we use the fucking dumb lingo. Do you know what a rat is?
Mina Shirakawa.
Oh, yeah.
Shirakawa.
So,
you guys love talking about Mina.
I love Mina. Mina's the best.
Great. Big fan.
Mina, huge fan of Mina. Mina's a great wrestler.
Have you seen Mina? Do you know what Mina looks like?
I or EE?
Mina.
Yeah.
She was the first one to. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Mina Shirakawa. Mm-hmm. She's real good.
She's a very good wrestler, and she's Brett and I's friend.
Yeah, we're friends with Mina Shirakawa.
See, we're friends.
Yep.
Oh, I did know that. I did see that.
Yep.
Yes. So we're very happy. Mina. So the interesting thing, Stardom is getting a pretty big shot in AEW right now.
It's good.
Tony likes them. I think it
I'm
improves the women's
sorry.
division.
She's 36 years old.
Sure is.
Yeah. Yep. Sure is.
So, but super excited to see Mina again. I can't imagine her travel schedule because she's on Queendom.
Yeah.
I think she was just there last weekend too, maybe.
I don't know.
But she rules. We get essentially the same match we saw in Ring of Honor.
It was just
I was like,
beat for beat.
Right. I was like, oh, Anna Jay's going to win, get her win back here. And then it basically happened the same match and then ends the same way. I'm like, oh, okay. We're just making sure everyone knows that Mina fucking rules.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then we get the champagne celebration. But then Anna beats them up and Tony comes in for the save. Yeah. There's a bit. Mina is currently caught in what they're developing as a love triangle. She used to be tag partners with Mariah May.
Right.
So she's been showing up to help Mariah May, and Tony's been showing up.
Move. She danced real cool.
And then Tony gets jealous, but Mina and Mariah May kissed on TV a couple weeks back, and everybody's still talking about it, or at least thinking about it.
Come on, it's 2024. Grow up.
Okay. So, and then Serena Deeb comes out.
And cuts a promo that you can't fucking hear.
I pretty much heard it.
Can't fucking hear it, man.
I mean, I heard it. It was hard, but I heard it.
Gist of it,
yeah.
But can't fucking hear it.
But she picks up the belt, and she's going to start challenging for that. That's fine. Gives Serena Deeb something to do. Please don't have Serena Deeb win this. I don't think that works.
Did you see the Twitter exclusive promo for after this match with Toni Storm?
Yeah.
Where she just stands there and she goes, bosom?
Yeah.
And Mariah May comes running in and just puts her head on her cheek.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And then she said to Anna Jay, I'm going to clap your cheeks.
Nice. Good. Incredible. So Toni Storm, do you know Toni Storm's other thing about where she says chin up, tits out, watch for the shoes?
No.
So on TV, that's her catchphrase. She says chin up, tits out, and then she throws a shoe at you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. It's so perfect.
Yes. So
bosom.
I mean, chin up, tits out is a thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then watch for the shoes, and then you get hit with a shoe. Yeah. So that's an interesting thing. Deeb's a capable wrestler. The promo's fine. She's an okay promo. But she's not gonna be the one to beat Toni. God, I hope not. No.
Nope.
Yeah. We get the Willow celebration.
Yeah,
Willow gets her coronation.
Fucking hard to hear.
It does.
Man.
This one was much harder to hear. We missed Caprice's rap. That was very hard to hear. And this is when Mercedes comes out and interrupts Willow, accuses Willow of hurting her on purpose in that match all those months ago, and then challenges her for Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
At the end of next month, which is Willow's gonna lose. Maybe not, but it looks like Willow's gonna lose, which
I
stinks.
hope she snatches her wig.
But
so Mercedes has had a problem with her wig coming off during matches.
Yep, for sure.
It's not good.
Yeah. And she didn't always wear them in WWE, but I get it. She like the super crazy design. She wants to change a whole bunch. But so that's that. We get Fathead Marvez backstage asking Jack if he's reinstated because they went in the office. That's when we announced TK and Perry's going to meet later. This bizarre fucking gauntlet match.
It was so weird. So when this was kicking out, I saw Jay White come out, and then I saw a Top Flight guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta go use the restroom.
Yeah.
And then I looked at my phone and I saw all you guys were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what's going on?
They tried to explain it on commentary, but then commentary was also like, we didn't know this match was happening. And I'm like, that's a weird fucking thing to say.
Weird.
So, Tatum, this is going to mean very little to you, but this was a gauntlet match, which means two guys wrestle, and then when the guy loses, another guy will come out typically. And so the guy who wins stays in the ring, then another person comes out, and you run through the gauntlet, and whoever's the last person standing at the end, between 5 or 10 people or whatever, would win in wrestling. This one is a gauntlet match where the first fall wins, so the ring fills up with people, and then whoever beats somebody first wins. It was very odd. Very, very odd. But the shocking thing here, so we get Archer. I think it was mostly a mess. We get Switchblade, Dante Martin, Penta, Cool
Switchblade.
Kyle, Osprey,
The Switchblade.
and Commander, and Jay Lethal.
Switchblade.
Yeah, Switchblade.
Forgot about
Switchblade. But we get Archer taking a Rana through tables off the apron. Like,
was cool.
there's some cool stuff, but ultimately everyone's just confused.
Yeah.
And then Osprey comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is.
I was shocked that he was in this.
Me too, but like, okay, so this, and it was to win a shot at the
International title.
title, which Roddy
Strong.
holds.
Yeah.
So that looks like, Osprey wins. It looks like they're going to put that on Osprey.
Yes.
I would make it a 3-way with Cool Kyle and work that out, but who knows what's going to happen there. Very weird.
Yeah.
I had to look up because I was like not understanding run through the gauntlet or the first one. Like, I thought that throw down the gauntlet meant, because a gauntlet is like a long glove
Yes.
or like, right?
Oh, you were going, okay, all right.
Right.
And so, like, if you throw down the gauntlet, like, you're taking off the gloves to do a
Okay.
match. So I thought it was just like a drop.
Yeah, you don't see them much in wrestling
match.
anymore.
So, like, running through a bunch of people.
Yeah, you don't see that. You don't see it so much in wrestling anymore. But a gauntlet match typically is two guys will start, and then when one guy loses, a new guy will come out to wrestle the guy that won. And then if that guy can make it through all the way, he wins. There's
so
a
it's
set amount of
whoever
people.
challenges.
Yeah, there's like a set amount of people,
I
but it'll
guess
be
that makes
random and everything.
sense.
Running the gauntlet, but this was just weird and bizarre. Don't do this again. That's just where I'm leaving that.
I agree.
The Chris Jericho.
Oh, you mean the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho? With his new bullshit theme music.
I didn't say that
He's
on
back.
purpose.
It fucking
He won't.
sucks.
He won't go away. He will not go away.
No. So Chris Jericho used to have this thing where he would know.
Chris Jericho.
Like, in wrestling,
Chris Jericho was an all-time great.
He would know.
Yeah.
Great.
He would know like when his run was getting stale, and he'd go away for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he'd come back, and
Different.
it was hot and new, and like a
Yeah.
different type of
He had a
character.
haircut. He'd have
Right.
different gear. He'd
Yes,
be a good guy or bad guy.
I remember that.
And like they would call him, like he was always the master of reinventing himself,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Right.
knew when to go away and when to come back.
And now he refuses.
Now he's been on TV for 5 years straight,
Yeah.
and it's just so stale.
I wouldn't want to go home to his wife either, but
Yeah. So there's this wrestler named Big Bill, and he
Big
comes
Bill,
out
with two Gs.
and he wants to be under the learning tree of
God.
Jericho. And
Under the learning tree?
Yes.
he is now the learning tree Chris Jericho.
No, go home.
He's
I
also
agree.
he's also
Sit
the
your whole self down.
yeah. What else was he? The
oh well, when you get caught up in the vortex.
The vortex. I was going to say
Jericho.
Tempest, but it's the vortex of Jericho.
So fucking
about a week or two ago, it was announced that Jericho had filed for 3 new trademarks for like T-shirts and merchandise. And then that next week on TV, he came out and said all of those things in one
And
promo to
none
see
of
which
them
one
got
sticks.
over.
None of them stuck. So he's decided Learning Tree is the one he's going to go with. And he name drops Terry Funk twice, and I wanted to kill him.
Yep.
I wanted to kill
That
him
was just
so
for you.
fucking bad. At least he was like the god of pro wrestling, Terry Funk, and whatever. Like he's paid respect. But he's like, Terry Funk told me I need to take care of the young. No, he didn't. Fuck you.
He thinks he's Terry Funk.
He is so not Terry Funk. No. Seething
Very
mad.
sore subject.
Seething mad.
I see that.
But I like Big Bill. I don't mind this as a position for Big Bill because it gets Big Bill on TV more.
Sure.
Who knows? I guess Starks isn't hurt. Who knows? Maybe he's going to go trying to bide his time to go to his buddy Cody. I don't know. But I like Big Bill. Big Bill's a 7-footer. Went to school to be a doctor, went to medical school, and then decided to become a wrestler because he's 7 foot tall.
No.
Okay.
Good looking guy. Had some health issues, had some seizures, got over that, quit drinking, turned himself around.
Yeah.
Got released from WWE, ends up here. He's doing really good stuff. Looks great, can move really good for a 7-footer. So if he gets him on TV, I can't really complain. But Jericho's gimmick is that everybody he's wrestled has been better off afterwards, and it's just not true. I mean,
it's just leaning into the online shit too much. Yeah,
and like the people he's wrestled have done better, but not because of him.
No.
You know, they've done like Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, Hangman. They've all done better because they're better, not because Jericho's making them better. So again, if it puts Big Bill on TV, I'm not going to be super mad about it, but also. Ugh.
And why are we
I'm
trying
all
to
set
do
over here.
a learning tree or whatever? Like, mentor from a place of, like, I quit at the top.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Or I'm
It just
like
sucks.
stepping aside and not like
wish he would step aside.
I'm going to continue to be the best.
Absolutely.
That's what he sounds like
It's
in my brain
that's
now.
terrible.
spot on, actually.
And
know
Jericho
Chris
does
Jericho
get a
was here.
lot of heat because he was so great and has fallen so far.
Yeah, he's definitely
You know,
falling off. For a while.
I think if maybe this wasn't everybody knew Chris Jericho, maybe this gets taken with a little bit better of a light. Him being like a mid card shitty guy now,
Sure.
But because he was a guy who was literally one of the greats of all time, it's like nah, get out of here.
Not working. dog.
There's just no like grace or self-awareness there.
No, he's lost all of that.
Right.
He's grown
Sure
a mustache,
has.
so he looks like John Tesh. So main event is Mox versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yes, for the IWGP
IWGP title,
title.
which I'm telling you, New Japan listens to this show because when we talked about it, we said, how do you handle the Gaijin champion? I said, you have one of your young guys from New Japan say, why are we letting this guy be our champion? We said it. If you want Shooter or Huge Suge or whatever to get over, they have to be the ones that say, "I'm defending New Japan against this fucking asshole who shouldn't have this belt," and that's what they're doing. Suge said it was bullshit and blah blah blah. But we get Mox Hobbs. I love
Wait,
Hobbs. Yes.
Okay, Mox Hobbs.
Yes.
So Mox is
John Moxley.
John Moxley,
Yes,
and
married to
that's
Renee.
Renee's husband.
Yes,
that's
correct.
Mr. Renee.
And he is current.
Mr.
He is
Renee.
current the champion of New Japan Professional Wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay,
That he won like 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Yes.
so we've closed the circle.
Yes.
There- perfect. That's perfect.
So, and I thought this match was very odd, because I realized that Hobbs blew a wheel.
So he goes for the Stinger Splash.
Yeah.
And he does not get any elevation. Yes, that's Powerhouse Hobbs. He's
Yes.
fucking awesome.
Awesome.
He also wears a singlet.
He breaks backs.
Yes.
He's awesome.
He's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
So he goes for the Stinger Splash in the corner, and when he goes to do the leap, he gets no elevation at all, and kind of just like stumbles into the corner.
Turf Monster got him.
And I went, that's it. I go, he fucked his knee up.
Yeah.
And the rest of the match, he's on the outside, grabbing at his knee.
Yep.
Even when he goes back in, he does no moves where he's
Too odd.
planting or
Yep.
jumping. All he does is take a DDT, get put in the choke for a little while, passes out.
Yep.
I put last night in the Discord like, oh shit, they can blew a wheel.
Yeah.
Joe said, I think so too.
Yeah.
And I was texting Marcus last night, and he said, he goes, that's ACL.
Yeah.
I go, I did it in high school, and I like, that's exactly what it was. Like, you could just see it looked like an ACL.
Yep.
Nothing confirmed yet. I hope the dude's all right. Hopefully it's just like hyperextended or something.
Partial tear. Something
Who
he
is
doesn't
that
like.
on?
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay.
And Hobbs has all the tools. Hobbs is a very talented guy. He's got the look. He's got the ability. They don't treat him so great. Like, I mean, they do because he's featured, but like he loses a lot. But that's a dude that if you want, is believable enough that if you want to call him at any point to be next man up, he's absolutely filling that role.
Yeah.
So, and an
He's
ACL,
fucking
that's
awesome.
8 months if he's lucky, especially at his size.
Yeah, it's tough. So hope everything's all right with him.
Yes.
I wanna root for Mr. Renee, but I'm liking
Love Mr. Renee.
But I'm liking Hobbs.
Oh yeah, hey, nothing wrong with that, but
Yeah.
we are big Mr. Renee.
And Hobbs a bad guy. So, right now.
I'm a big Renee fan.
Yes.
Same.
So we get Takeshita out after does the belt motion in his awesome pants.
So all right,
Our friend Takeshita.
so Marcus asked me
Your
this-
friend Takeshita.
We met him too. We did.
I know you
we
did.
a
So we
dance
did
with
the
him.
dance with him.
Yeah.
So Marcus asked me about this. He goes, "How do you think the New Japan sign off on this?
Mm-hmm.
Because Takesha's not a New Japan guy. He's a DDT guy and an AEW guy, and Mox is
Mm-hmm. Right.
AEW New Japan guy. New Japan DDT. They don't really,
They're all working together right now over there, though.
Yeah, and I said New Japan probably signed off
Mm-hmm.
on it. They had to be probably okay with it.
Rocky's in both offices. Rocky definitely
And-
goes over everything.
Yeah. So
They're AEW. I would hope isn't dumb enough to do anything without New Japan's approval.
don't pull a Riddle.
I think New Japan being down in popularity right now gives AEW the ability to push them around a little bit and make some suggestions and say, this is what we want to do. Why don't we do it? But Rocky's vice president in Japan, and he's in the front office for AEW. Everything's going to go through him first.
What a fucking glow up for him, huh?
Fucking wild.
It's nuts.
Wild.
But so main event segment happens.
We don't want to talk about how we're getting Shibata versus Chris Jericho in Winnipeg?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about Shibata saying to Miss Renee, he goes, I like the sequins on your shirt. It makes a heart.
Yes. Shibata is a Japanese man, and he gets all his promos via text to talk.
Yeah.
He texts it and then has the phone talk. Adorable. It's hilarious. Yes.
She just goes, oh, thanks.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so cute.
Yep, it was adorable. But yeah, main event segment. Jack Perry comes out. Tony Khan comes out. They're here to kind of bury the hatchet. Jack Perry talking about, I love Jacksonville. I've had some of the best moments of my life here. I'm here for AEW. Him and Tony, they hug. They shake hands. Jack Perry raises Tony's hand. He's smiling. The smile goes away.
Yep.
And he punches Tony Khan in the stomach.
Yes.
Tony Khan drops. Out come the Bucks and Okada. Just like, what the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. Datum question.
This is what happened.
So this is what happened. So Bucks and Okada come out pushing Jack on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And the Bucks are picking Tony Khan
because the Young Bucks in real life are executive vice presidents of AEW.
Yeah.
They started the company with Tony.
Okay.
And they're also on screen the executive vice presidents of the company who are like dickheads.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Bucks
EVPs.
are picking Tony up by each arm, and you think, oh, here comes the fucking.
I thought the
EVP trigger.
Yeah.
And Okada stops them and be like, yo, no. Pick him up.
And then he does the Batista.
Yeah, he goes, pick him up.
Pick him up, yeah.
And they give him the fucking Melter driver.
It's the Tony Khan driver. It's the TK driver.
It is now.
It was before, yeah.
So they give him a pile driver.
Yeah.
And and they
hurt his neck.
It's fucking gnarly that they did it.
Yeah. I love it.
I do too, man. I think it's good shit. I want to boo my bad guys. They're not trying to be like cool bad guys. I'd like to boo the bad guys.
Yeah.
And the AEW locker room comes running out. They run them off.
The jobber AEW locker room comes out. Chris Daniels.
Penta was there.
Oh yeah, Penta was there. That's true. But it was the AEW babyface rescue crew of CD and Matt Seidel.
Yeah, and they run
Action and Andretti.
Yeah, they run everybody. They run the bad guys off. And then. Is his dad's name Shad?
Shad Khan, yeah.
Shad Khan runs out with his cool.
Does sound like a Mortal
mustache.
Kombat villain, but yes.
Yeah,
and he's like checking on his son
because they were in Jacksonville Stadium. They run at Daly's place, which is in Jacksonville Stadium. So they were all there for the draft.
The draft was tonight.
Right.
So his dad came out to check on him.
Oh wait, was the draft in Jacksonville?
No, but the war room is.
Yeah, they're all located at
because he owns. Okay, got it.
So he comes out to check on his son, and everybody's like, "Holy shit, that's his first storyline appearance or whatever."
Because with AEW, the thing is that Tony Khan he got the money from his dad. Like Tony works for the Jags, he does all this other stuff. They own a soccer team, all this stuff.
Sure.
But Shad, Tony tells a story and says that my dad basically said you're going to get all this money when I pass away. But why not let you have it and use it while I'm here to see you enjoy it?
Right.
So he did give him a bunch of money to be able to start this thing.
I feel like that's a common thing.
Yeah. So
they're
still billionaires, and he's a car parts billionaire. They started by selling mufflers. I think they were like Tommy Boy.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like Callahan Auto.
This is Tommy Boy.
He's Tommy Boy, right? Yeah. Essentially.
So much.
Yeah.
That was good. That was it for wrestling.
That's it. We can talk about do you want to talk about Hyper Masao?
I don't think.
I think
it speaks for itself.
If this episode wasn't as long and as fun as it is, I think we could talk about the Hyper Masao thing. But we don't. We're gonna skip it. But don't even watch it. It's very weird.
It's so weird.
Did you
get emotional when Hyper Masao came out at the end and was crying?
Poor Hyper Masao who hurt her ankle. But this was very weird. It was like a play, drama in Japan, and it was a very weird show that ends in a wrestling match. But it's all in Japanese, so you can't really follow it. But
it pushes the limits of what pro wrestling is.
It's super weird, and I love watching them. I loved watching the first one. Super weird, not for everybody. I had a rundown of what it is just because you wouldn't really wouldn't believe what happened. There's a bunny rabbit battle fairy, a nuclear explosion, seemingly 3 women in blackface.
Yeah.
But it was actually a Japanese trend of ultra tan with white makeup. I forget what Genbaro or something they said. And then the rabbit fairy turned into a person.
So fucked up.
And then there's a punk band. And then there's in between vignettes. And then the band gets run off. And then Aja Khan comes out and fights Raku. It's very bizarre. But I do like watching them.
Aja Khan is,
yes,
right?
Aja Khan.
do.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
And there was a garbage can versus pillow fight. But very bizarre.
I mean,
But
It's
yeah.
crazy.
no,
Like,
those are common.
it's just like to watch. You're like, what am I watching?
Correct.
Fever dream.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is.
Correct.
But I kind of love it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I remember having some kind of conversation with you guys where I feel like you said things that you start to see in American wrestling, you saw like 5 years ago in Japanese women's wrestling.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, how excited are you for 5 years from now, all of American wrestling becoming a fever dream like this?
That'll never happen.
This will never. There's been like
it's super weird.
There's been weird shit in
Yes.
American wrestling like
Right.
this.
Okay.
But not to
this
like
level.
this extent.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
This
it's
was
just, it's
it was
weird.
it was about an
Like,
hour and a
I can't
half
even- I can't
with
even recommend.
one 7-minute match in it, and the rest was play.
I can't
It was-
even recommend
I mean-
it to people. Like,
No, it's just for
if
me.
you want to watch, cool. If
Yeah.
you hate it, I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
for sure.
like it's weird.
Yeah.
it's weird.
I mean-
it's fun, but it's fucking weird.
It's very weird.
Half of the world is microdosing mushrooms to get through a day. There's
You're not
a
wrong.
solid chance that this
true.
could actually.
You're not wrong.
It's true.
Okay, Tatum has an idea. Doug, let's fucking get the
Doug?
paperwork going,
Right.
okay?
Wrestling and mushrooms.
Yes.
Wrestling is mushrooms. So on everything else, we do have 2 questions we have to get to, right?
Yeah, but
yeah.
first,
Let's do the Terry Funk
first we want to
moment
get to Terry Funk.
for this episode. Whew. Tatum, good thing you're here. Terry Funk is going to call Jim Ross a whole bunch of names, and it made me giggle.
Sure is.
We'll be back.
Well, fans, we heard those comments from Dr. Iswanik. Now, what are you doing out here?
Let me say something, Ross. I don't doubt the doctor's synopsis of what's wrong with Ric Flair. All I am questioning is how bad is the injury. You know, courageous athletes are strong enough to come back, but evidently the National Wrestling Alliance does not have a courageous champion. He is lacking in something. Maybe his neck is not that bad, but he has the stomach problem. He lost his gut. He has a back problem. He's got a yellow streak down his back. I've insulted Ric Flair every way I possibly can, and he still is not around. You know, if I called you a fat, overbearing, obnoxious slob, you know what? Would you even fight me? If I called you a fat, overbearing, obnoxious slob, wouldn't you fight me? Wouldn't you fight me? Whose wife wants to wrap her arms around me and squeeze me gently? You would even fight me, wouldn't you? Well, take your best shot, Jim Ross. Oh, do you see? Jim Ross and Ric Flair have something in common. No guts.
Well, I'm not even. That doesn't even deserve a dignifying remark.
All right, we're back. Thank you, Terry. Sorry it took us so long to get around to you. This is going to be the longest episode ever, I think. I think so. I think Tatum's bringing
The
us
Royal
down.
Rumbles
Tatum's
plus Wrestle
tired.
Kingdoms.
This is the latest Tatum's ever been out.
I'm
pretty sure.
Tatum.
Who we got questions?
Currently 1, 2, 3, 4.
So
No.
no.
Oh, no, it's
1,
not.
2, 2, 4.
1, 2,
See?
2, 4.
Don't wish
Can't
time
even-
away.
Can't even read.
10 minutes from now.
So-
We'll still be here.
So we have 2 questions.
Who's up first?
The Ed Cody 2-parter.
이제 이번 주에 에드 코디 질문입니다.
What do we got?
All right. So part 1.
Part 1.
With April being a quarter way through 2024,
Correct.
What are your personal top 4 power rankings for wrestlers? I don't want to know who you think is having the best year so far, just who you're enjoying the most so far. In case you're curious, mine is number 4, Brandon St. James from 880. Number 3, Kazuchika Okada from AEW. Number 2, Takeshi Masada from DDT. And number 1, Shunya Katsumata from DDT.
I read this as Ed wanting us to rank those 4 people.
Oh, no.
So, Jesus Christ, I don't have... Do you have an answer?
Fuck. Number one, I'll say Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Bryan Danielson. Number 3, Swerve Strickland. Number 4, fuck. That's tough. Who's number 4 for me? I don't know, because I'm going to leave somebody out and I'm going to sound like a fucking moron. Number 4, I'll just say what I'm feeling, I guess. Mark Briscoe.
Okay, I like that.
I love me some chicken.
Yeah.
He tried to set Buddy Matthews on fire.
He did, that's true. While he may not be, like, my number 1, I think it'd be silly to say that Ospreay isn't the number 1 guy. Like, the money, the matches,
But again,
like, the featured.
Not who you think is having the best
Right.
year, who you're enjoying the most.
Oh, it is. Okay. Then Bryan Danielson's my number 1 because it remains my favorite wrestler.
I'm going to change Mark Briscoe to Zack Sabre Jr. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Number 2, I'm going to say is Will Ospreay because, obviously the man is he's all over the place and he's putting on banger after banger after banger. My number 3, who I'm enjoying the most, because we mention her all the time, shout out Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa / Tony Storm. We do because they represent the women in there. And then my number 4, and again, I know I don't watch WWE. New Japan has basically nobody of any interest for me right now, and Taguchi's out hurt. So I'm gonna say that I've been really enjoying Moxley basically taking over the world.
All right,
so
I'd love to hear that.
There you go.
Tatum, how about you?
I'm so excited that you asked because I'm so invested in wrestling and I've been watching so much of it.
You love wrestling?
So I'm going to... whose question was this?
This is
Ed.
Ed's.
Ed.
It's the first part of a 2-parter.
Okay, great. Ed, I'm not going to fully follow your rules. I'm going to go top 3 off of the match that I
Perfect.
did just
I
watch.
love
Perfect.
So coming in at number 3, Swerve. I'm definitely going to be following him. I enjoyed him.
Yeah, great year.
Ospreay.
Okay, that's your number 2.
Yeah,
All right.
loved my glitter pants. And number 1, my new very serious girlfriend, Tony Storm.
Ooh,
Love it.
Nice.
That's
Wonderful.
perfect.
Love it. Great list.
It's a great list. And Ed's second part question. Cake the band or cake the dessert? You can only pick one.
Ooh.
Cake the band.
Cake the dessert.
I want a big cake. I like pie better, so.
I love me some cake.
Yeah. Tatum?
Cake the dessert with a picture of Cake the band's album cover on it.
That's a great
Michelle
answer.
and I cut our wedding cake to Love You Madly by Cake.
That is amazing.
So there you go.
Love that for you.
Yeah. So.
Ed, thank you. You're the
I
best.
also once
Thanks, Ed.
didn't go see Cake because Parliament was playing the same night, and we chose Parliament, and I wasn't on enough drugs, so I didn't enjoy Parliament. I mean, I did, but like they were real jammy. But
If you had seen them today in the day and age where everybody is microdosing mushrooms to get through a day.
Exactly. Cake the band.
Yeah. Hey, everybody in the Discord, what's your top 4 this year so far? You're enjoying the most.
Why am I not on the Discord?
I don't know.
I don't know. You don't
want to be there. The Discord gets very overwhelming
It's tough.
at times.
It's tough.
You can mute shit, but it gets very
It's
overwhelming.
tough sometimes.
I have Discord. I use it
well,
for Dungeons
well.
and Dragons.
Well, yell it. Get it, Dwicky. He's the Discord master.
Right. There is a Wings on Wings channel.
There is, yes.
All right. Timsy's question.
Yeah, so the Tim Taylor question of the week.
And now the Tim Taylor question of the week.
Tim, the tailor-made man. What's his question?
Timsy's question. Not a topical question about the week, but one that I'm sure you could fold in. What is the one hill you'll always die on when it comes to wrestling?
Chris Jericho is worse than Gwyneth Paltrow.
There you go.
There
I
you
like
go.
it.
Hey, I fuck with
I don't have a
that.
problem with that. Hill to die on, good or bad? I don't know. Do you have one on top of your head?
I thought about it. I don't know. Bret Hart's probably the best wrestler to ever exist.
Okay.
That might be my hill to die on.
All right.
Even though I love Bryan Danielson, it's Bret the Hitman Hart.
Okay. Your namesake?
I fucking wish it was. Thanks, Bret Michaels.
Yep.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, we got one too many T. That's the
yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
That's
she spelled
the
it wrong.
fucking problem.
So.
Fucking bitch. Yeah, I'll say, Bret Hart's the fucking best ever. I will die on that fucking hill.
So,
Even though he's not my favorite of all time, he's the best ever.
right. Man. So I want to say that one of my hills is that referees should not stop counting in anticipation for the person to kick out.
Treat it like a shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate that. It's very obvious. People do it all the time. Also,
Stop if you're getting pinned. Stop looking at the referee's count. It's noticeable and I hate it.
Don't ruin that for Tatum. Also,
No, I already picked
okay.
up on it.
Oh,
and
it's the
I will
worst.
say that red will always equal green.
All right, I like that.
There's some people out there that are like,
like
oh, don't
that.
bleed. You bleed too much.
No.
It's not special anymore.
Bleed every match.
Red always equals green.
I
The more
fucking
blood,
love
the better.
it.
You can make the referee bleed, do it.
Remember when they did make the referee bleed?
Sure, it was awesome.
It was
Absolutely.
so cool.
Yeah.
FTR the Briscoes.
Oh, and I'll also
Puts
die
up
on the
a
hill
wall.
that Eric Bischoff is full of shit and should have been listened to in 1997 and absolutely should not be listened to in 2024.
Here's another one. Here's a hill to die on.
Airing grievances now.
Yeah, I know. This is what it's going to
Yeah,
become.
it's Festivus all of a sudden.
Don't take people's match ratings as gospel.
Right.
You can enjoy a match that somebody hates.
Mm-hmm.
You can also hate a match that somebody enjoys. It's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's allowed to have an opinion.
Right.
Just because one guy rates it something doesn't mean it's the end all be all.
Sure.
I think it's fun. It's a fun exercise to do. I think people take
It's a good guidebook.
I think people
but
take
it's not the end all be all.
way too fucking serious though. So I don't know, man. Chill out a little bit.
And the douche scale trademark is better than the Meltzer
And
scale.
also, like, if you don't enjoy something, you don't have to watch it.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
You know, you can turn it off. And I mean that with really anything in life. Like, if you don't enjoy it, you can walk away.
Right, vote with your dollars.
Like, you're okay to do that.
Yeah.
You don't. It's just
Correct.
It's just pro wrestling. Like, I love it. I love it so much. But like, if I hate something, I'm not gonna go out of my way to tell you how much I hate it and how much I don't want to watch it, and then I won't shut the fuck up about it. It just, I don't know. It just seems very counterproductive to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do something better with your time, I guess. That's where I'm at.
I like it.
And that's not a shot at anybody in particular or anything.
It's a shot at everybody.
That's just like, it really is. Sometimes it's like, man, this is...
Marcus and Tim want to take shots at us at the end of their episode. We can take shots at them on the end of ours.
What would they say?
I don't know.
Oh, they don't take shots.
It's not Kevin Nash.
Pretend.
Oh, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. Chill the fuck out a little bit.
Yeah.
Wrestling's cool as fuck.
Right.
Enjoy what you enjoy.
Yes.
You don't need to, hate watch
Correct.
everything, man. And that's it.
That is it.
Yeah.
That is absolutely it for
Did you buy
wrestling.
anything this week?
I did.
I did too.
Old Roddy Piper Ultimate's coming my way.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Bret Hart Ultimate's coming my way.
Yeah.
And I think that's it as well. Oh, no. About the Bryan Danielson ROH figure. And it already shipped.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't buy it because, and I think it looks really good, and I love him, and I went on the set. I was like, I'm gonna buy this, but why doesn't he come with the fucking belt? Why? You know what I mean? Like,
and this is weird when it comes to toys and shit. I don't think they have the rights
to the old style belt. And like, to me, if he came with the belt, then it's a home run. But the fact that he doesn't come with that, which is what he's known for, like I was like, for 30 or whatever it is plus shipping, and also that they jacked up their free shipping threshold and dropped they and all that. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm completely sold. I also think it's going to be sitting there for a little while, so maybe when the Briscoes come around.
There you go.
But
get that free shipping. What'd you buy this week, Dave? Wrestling or whatever related?
My favorite purchase this week was a Record Store Day exclusive for vinyl soundtrack of Lost in Translation.
Oh, nice.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I didn't buy anything for Record Store Day.
Nope.
Didn't buy anything. Nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing got me.
right.
All right.
That's it.
Is that it?
Yep.
We all know what our favorite match was Ospreay Danielson this
we're good.
week.
We're good.
We're
We don't
good
need
there.
anything
So,
else.
all right.
Thanks for listening. This has been We Need Wrestling. You can find us on WeNeedWrestling.com. At We Need Wrestling on social media. And email the show at WeNeedWrestling@gmail.com. Did I say that already? I might have said that twice. Proud member of the soon-to-be-named network at STBN Network on Twitter. Soon-to-be-named network.tumblr.com because everything's got fucky still.
Who knows what's happening?
And tons of shows there. Final Wrestling Place, At Odds with Wrestling, Longbox Heroes After Dark are the three of us. Other show with Michelle and Doug, Wings on Wings.
Hey, that's us.
Hey,
and I will say,
oh, you got to do it this time.
yeah,
I'm so proud.
as this drops, if you haven't listened to Wings on Wings, may I recommend the latest episode? I think we always have a good time doing it, and I'm not saying the other episodes are crap, but I think we put out a really good episode this week.
This was one of my favorites.
So if you have, if you're,
I often forget about what it was.
if you're new to Wings on Wings. Go back and start there and then work your way back to the shitty ones. But this one was real good. Is that it? That's it.
I think
Get
so.
the hell out of
Tatum.
here.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Literally
Literally anytime.
anytime.
Yeah.
But also don't do that to yourself.
But literally anytime.
Ease into it. But who knows?
It's new and exciting. Don't burn
see.
yourself out.
Right, we'll see what
I don't
happens.
think you'll burn yourself out.
Yeah.
You're in it for the long haul.
So
Thanks, Tatum.
yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds.
Just
Yes,
in
is your microphone
case. I think I did turn it on right before I put it in. Well,
What I do?
yep. That's how it works.
What?
You're on a wrestling podcast.
Yeah,
Who'da thunk?
What a bad decision
Who'da
on your
thunk?
part.
What a great decision.